now live. Welcome. We are live once again. Welcome everybody. Welcome chat. I'm sounding a lot better this week, so I'm not quite so derpy.
Wow.
Woohoo! That's not supposed to be making noise. I thought I'd turn that off. God damn it. Hang on a second, I was going to make sure I got the right alert going here. Bear with me just for 1 minute. I was going to check my stream elements, guys. But thank you for the resub, Baz. 5 months. Appreciate that. Got to check
Seems
my overlay
like
here.
Forever.
I know.
It's only 5 months. It's not forever.
D&D alerts. Edit. Only 5 months. Yeah. Trans Gamer, what's up? Welcome, chat. Just give me 1 second. I was going to double check my overlay here. Because I think I know what's caused the problem. I have variants on.
It's the monkey behind the seat.
Are supposed to be all turned off so they don't make noise during the show when someone subs and whatnot. It'll alert, but it just won't make any sounds.
That's okay. I'd have the stream muted anyway.
I do too, but I can hear it through OBS. To make sure my variations are turned off. Looks
variation?
like it. My variation, yeah. Alright, so welcome chat. Yeah, Nutty's camera is a little bit laggy. Unfortunately, we are limited for cameras at the moment. So her camera is not the greatest of quality, but it'll do in the meantime until we get cameras, because unfortunately at the moment we can't get new cameras in the country. They're all sold out across the country because of Corona. So we just have to make do. So yes, Nutty's camera will be laggy, but you can still see her, kind of.
Yeah, Yanti's similar as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But you can you'll still be able to hear her. So we just have to make do, unfortunately, guys. The camera will get better, I promise you. We're looking into a new camera for my main camera, and she'll have this one, so it'll be awesome. So,
no, you don't want to see me any better.
so
Just
with
drop
that,
your frame rate and you'll be good.
yeah, unfortunately, we can't on that camera. There's no external programming for it. We've kind of done the best we can. Unfortunately, it would have been good for a static camera, but that'll be about it. Anywho. So, for those that were with us last week, we did a one-shot campaign because I was dealing with dental work and wasn't able to speak really well. So we decided to do a one-shot to give me a couple of weeks to recover. Recovery's going very, very well.
As you can tell, he doesn't shut up.
Exactly.
That's just
so, part 2 of our one shot will be tonight, and then next week we'll get getting back into Paradigm and reintroduce our characters to the Tomb of Horrors.
I've completely forgotten everything.
So I do encourage all of the players, if you haven't already, skip over the latest episode on the YouTube and refresh yourself of where you left off. We will definitely do a recap at the beginning of the show anyway, but just go through the VOD and just refresh your memories before the show.
Just one question with that campaign. If our characters happen to survive and we finish that campaign, do we still get to keep the characters, or
even if your character dies, you can still keep your character? That's the joy. That's the joy of D&D, man. Is those characters, alive or dead, are your characters. You can do whatever you want with them. We can put them into a new campaign. You can keep them whatever. Yeah, you can pretty much do what you want with them. You can use them in one shots. You can alter their backstories and reuse them again as the same character, just with a different backstory if you want. That's the joy of D&D. So, without further delay, I will hand things over to our dungeon master for this evening. Baz, who's up there. He will give us our recap, and we'll get back into our one shot. Over to you.
All right.
I pointed the wrong way.
He's up there.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, so You were all part of the Thaawych Summer Festival, in one way or another. Cramak showed off his guard skills somewhat during the beginning, and things went on as you would imagine in a festival, a bit of drinking and a bit of partying. But during this fateful night, you were all dragged from your slumber, either being tied up by beastly orogs or by witnessing the capture of your townsfolk and kin. You all managed an escape and followed the town guard captain called Rokan, and it seemed like there was going to be a heroic rescue. However, he was dispatched rather quickly by a trap, and you've sort of left him along the road, patched up, in hopes that he will be able to heal and maybe be saved by the time you return. You all came across orogs on the road, on the trail. They were fighting over a child to eat, and you dispatched of them rather quickly with minimal hassle, which enabled you all to display some of your unique abilities. Further travel, following the roadside, catches you in a few of you in a crudely made spike trap. And once you released yourselves, you gave yourselves a better watch using a magical light source, and you managed to find more traps and disarm them reasonably safely. It was about here the forest began to twist around, and the shroud of the moonlight was darker as the trees came across, and you discovered a couple more ogres and orogs. With some quick planning, I think it was Breath began with a fireball, and you guys kicked off another battle, with Radul getting use of her pseudo-dragon and Cavalry laying down some pain with her great axe. Nancy was also able to imbue an arrow and lay an ogre down. And I believe also Cramak, I think you might have hit the deck there at some stage.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Unfortunately, the military training just let you down a little there.
Just a tad.
And this is where we find ourselves after this short battle. You guys feeling a little bit, just a little bit worse for wear after your wounds. You brought Cramak back around and decided to rest, I believe. So
Yeah, it took a long rest.
you are so. If you haven't already done so, make sure you set your characters up for that long rest. Get your hit points back, any spell slots you may have used, and we will say at this stage you will be looking at the break of morning if you're happy with that. You're about 2 o'clock in the morning when you're rested, so breaking morning. What we will say is, if you guys just sort out your character sheets as far as that's concerned, we'll just play a little bit of the night, so everyone gets a full rest. But what happens through the night? Firstly, you, Breath. If you can roll me, and we're going to start with rolling checks straight away. If
First rolls of the evening.
If you can roll me an intelligence save, please.
Intelligence save. Oh, great. First nat 1. That would be a 5.
Score.
And that one,
So, Breath, you are dreaming.
I've changed everything.
Actively dreaming, and you're dreaming of vines, and then they turn into snakes, and there's snakes over your body. And because of the nat 1, I'd like you to describe the rest of your horrific nightmare for us.
I'm guessing I probably got choked to death by the vines. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, no, I got swallowed into the earth, and for the rest of the night I was digging myself back out.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, these vines that turn into snakes and still vines wrapping around you, pulling you down into the earth. You feel like suffocation and everything that goes with it. You feel that the smell of the wet, dirty soil in your lungs, and then you just finally awake, feeling like you're choking. And as you awake, we'll go to the next player. So that will be Nancy. So Nancy, same for you. I need an intelligence save, please. 19. It's good. You have a similar dream of vines, but these vines, they tower above you, and you can see the moonlight through the vines and the trees, and then as the moonlight breaks through them, they sort of ashen away and then drop into ash at your feet. But sometimes you have those dreams where you feel restrained even though there's nothing there. Well, that's what you feel after the ash drops down. You just feel restrained, like minimal movement, and you wake in the morning, but no worse for wear. Cavalry can get an intelligence save from you.
17.
Oh yeah, another good one. So you, in your dream, you see snakes, and they're winding around your legs and around your tail, but you easily swipe them away with your axe. They're not a hassle at all. Not a problem for your larger frame as you stomp them away, stomp them out. And you wake up quite happy. Kramak, your intelligence save, please.
Do. Intelligence. 12.
12, yeah. Okay, so you dream of after your brush with death, you dream of ogres and aurochs. And these ogres and aurochs are running at you, and you're fighting them off, and every time you fight them off, you get struck down, but you get back up again, and then you start the same dream repeating. But for the most part, it doesn't seem to affect you. But one thing you notice in your dream is that there are chains and ropes that are gripping your arms, and when you go to swing, you're hitting the enemy, but it's holding your arms back. You really don't feel like you're getting where you wanted to. Otherwise, pretty good as you wake up in the morning. And finally, Radl, your intelligence save, please.
$15.
15. Right. Same sort of deal. You feel in your bedding, your bedroll, and that you feel like you've rolled yourself up and you've coiled tight with your blankets, and you feel like you're struggling. Then in your dreams, the vines sort of creep over you, and you're like, "What is going on?" But you wake in the morning with no hassle at all. And as you all wake up together now, the rest of you, so Nancy, Cavalry, Kramak, and Radl, you will see Breath is actually physically covered in vines. The rest of you have like vines near you where you slept, but they're all sort of cut off and chopped off. Very active sleepers you must be, but unfortunately, Breath, they're wrapped around your legs, your arms, around your neck, and they're pulling tight. And as you try to sit up, you cannot sit up. This is your chance to do something, guys.
What?
Should I sit there?
Brace.
No.
What? Guys.
I get up with the short sword and go try and cut the vines away.
Okay. Yes. Yeah,
I'll also
make an
assist.
attack with a short sword. And with assist, both of you can make attacks.
I will say
I'll attack it with my scimitar.
25 enough?
25 is plenty enough.
Yeah, I got a 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, sweet. And simple as you're not accidentally hitting Breath. You're just sort of slashing these vines aside, and as you do, the vines sort of crumple away and just sort of, they don't turn to ash like in the dream state, but they crumple away and just sort of fall away like any plant would, a little more violently maybe. And Breath, you're cut free.
Breath, are you okay?
Yes.
It was
That
very
was a-
strange.
Yes. Well, I'm happy that my dream didn't actually happen in real life now. I
Dream.
dreamt that
Good.
I actually got sucked into the earth. But said the earth just gave me a hug. And then I pull out a tome and start flicking through. Trying to
Are you
find it.
sure
Yeah.
you're okay? Though you
Yes, I'm
were
okay.
not hurt.
No, I don't feel hurt.
No, he's definitely not hurt. It was definitely just, the vines were just enough to sort of restrain him, her enough for not being able to get up, but you've cut them free. And so are you looking for information on anything like this, Breath?
Yeah. Looking through the tomes to try to find.
Sweet.
information.
Because you're actually looking through tomes, I'll say roll investigation for us.
Investigation.
Please and thank you.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, so as you flip through a book and you pop it back in your bag and grab out another, as this is how your book works, you're reaching into the library.
Yeah.
Two things that tells you. The first one is the library still stands, because you wouldn't be able to do this if the library had been burned down.
Which is a good sign.
The second thing is you find a book that mentions how in certain forests things grow with extreme rate overnight, and you also find mention that when forestry has been meddled with, or jungle or anything like that has been meddled with magically or even by a curse, that things like this can happen. They can sort of, the flora can come to life and have a bit of a mind of its own. But in this stage, it's about, with a good roll, that's about what you find out.
Cool. I'm going to share that information with everyone and say there's some freaky shit going on in this forest at the moment.
I believe that would coincide with possibility of illicit being close by. It kind of makes sense.
With who?
The illicit. You might know them as the Mind Flayer. They are called Mind Flayers, but their true name is illicit. I am sworn to destroy all illicit. They are foul creatures, should not be allowed to live. Let's just hope that is not what we are dealing with here.
Sweet. And with that, I would like everyone to roll perception, please. Okay, starting with you, Breath.
18.
And Nancy.
7.
Okay, Cavalry.
18.
And Kramak.
13.
And Radl.
4.
Okay, so Nancy and Radl, you don't notice anything at all.
Oh, look, my hand.
Yeah, you're looking at where maybe the vines had sort of wrapped or tried to wrap over you overnight, but other than that, you and Radl notice nothing. However, Breath, Kramak, and Cavalry, you notice shifting amongst the forestry in the early morning light. You can see like a flicker of green about 10 to 15 meters away from you through the thick forestry. But with the morning sun clearing through, you get a good view of quick color.
Did any of you see the movement in the trees?
See what? I didn't see anything.
I was going
Yes,
to
I did.
ask the same thing.
Movement?
Yes, there is something there. I cannot make out what, but it is there somewhere. Ready yourselves. And Kamak will go into a battle stance, shield up, sword drawn.
Okay.
I just look at him strangely.
Cavalry, what are you doing at this point?
I will get out my halberd and I will stand by the two that do not know what's going on.
Okay, so you're sort of protecting Radl and Nancy there.
Alright, so I'm going to reach across to the halberd, and I'm going to cast Magic Weapon at 2nd level on it, which turns it into a +1 weapon,
Nice.
Sweet.
which lasts an hour.
So you touch the weapon and you give it +1, which lasts an hour.
Yeah,
Okay.
it turns it in, so it gets a +1 to attack and damage.
Awesome. So yeah, Breath reaches over to your weapon, Cavalry, and you see a flash of light across the blade, and you feel the weapon suddenly it just feels lighter in your hands, and it more gel. I mean, you were good with it anyway, but it gels with you more. You can feel that it's going to be much better in future battles over the next hour.
Thank you.
And right at that same point, leaves, twigs, sort of not in a windy. It's very calm this morning, not in a windy respect, but leaves and twigs just move into the space about 5 meters away from where your sort of open camp area is, between two trees. And you see, as these leaf and twigs move in, it's more of a humanoid shape. And Evil, if you just want to throw up the dryad picture for everyone, thanks. And so these leaves and twigs make this humanoid, almost a female perspective. As she walks forward, you can see elven sort of features in the ears, more of a greening sort of skin, almost skin. It is definitely some sort of skin underneath. Wood makes sort of like the clothes she wears, and the picture's a reasonable version of what you see. Not quite the same as what I have here, but yeah, this woodland being, I would say, a very feminine, walks through and she speaks to you. It's the voice sounds like the rushing wind, and I'll do the best I can, but she says, "Welcome to my forest. Why have you come here?"
We are tracking our townspeople. We were attacked yesterday, and this is the way that they have come.
You see another figure behind her. He moves to the opposite side of your team. It's a male version exactly of what you see again, a male version of this forming leaves and twigs and wood. He pushes through the other side, and he's a bit of a lower voice, and he says, "You come to rid us of the darkness here." He's looking.
So.
Yeah, that's right. He was looking at sort of towards Breath and Cavalry. And the female one steps more forward, and she says, "A great curse has been placed here, and it ruins our people, our forest."
Do you know where the curse emanates from? We are tracking our townsfolk who have been taken from the town of Thaawych. Do you know where they may be?
She points, and you guys have came from this track that you were following the Orog and the ogres on, and she points, and at the same time, the male figure that is her other half points at the same. They both point in the same direction, and both of them say it in the same voice, "From there." And then on her own, she says, "Used to be an orc village, tribal. They were no trouble at all. They call me Grignal the Witch, but they give us no trouble until the other came along. My other half here, he is Noan. He likes the other, but the other treats the rest of us bad."
What does the other look like?
The male speaks this time as you speak, Breath, and he looks to you and he says, "The other. He is tall. He has long limbs and a long beard, swallowing dark eyes, but is very intelligent. We have great conversation."
Does Kramak recognize the description at all? Potentially?
It's a similar description, I guess, from what these creatures are giving you in this broken set of speech. It's not perfect common. Yes, long beard could be deciphered as tentacles. Tall and gangly, long limbs, that's definitely a description of Illithid. Intelligent, for sure.
Kramak will sort of talk to the what was the male's name?
Noan.
Noan. Noan, say you have a great conversation with the other. Does he speak to you physically or with his mind?
He
Or she, whatever.
The other is Slycerax. He speaks in here.
And with that, Kramak just doesn't say anything else. He just grimaces. Sort of takes half a step back and almost, you almost see him sort of not shoulder slumped, defeated, but that sort of anger builds up, and he just grits his teeth and sort of steps back a little bit.
Grignal, the female, walks over to Radl, and she sort of steps around you if you let her. She sort of walks around you in a circle, Radl, and she says, "Magnificent creature."
Yes. I smile.
Haven't seen your type here.
Ah. I then realise that she's probably looking at me, thinking, "Oh yes, I'm Dragonborn." Is what I am.
And the male Noan goes over towards Cavalry and Nancy and sort of walks between them and does the same sort of, "We hope with all the strength between you that you can help us. Our kin has been changed by the other." And they go on to explain, because it would be a long conversation talking like this all night. They go on to explain. They go on to explain how the other dryad kin, the other fey creatures of the forest, have been made into other twisted abominations of himself. That the other has made almost like a harpy meets dryad combination that they call now the Drindur. But once they are changed, their brains are not their own, and they are definitely more angry as opposed to the dryad being a friendly sort of set of creatures. And they explain this to you, that they want to save their kin.
I intend to protect my family as well as yours, hopefully. Is what I say to them.
And both nod in unison, both heads together. "We thank you." And they point to the road again. "The other is that away."
Kramak just starts walking in that direction.
How
Sweet.
far that way?
Doesn't say anything to anyone. Just starts walking with a purpose.
You ask that, Breath, as he's walking away?
Yeah.
The female, who seems to sort of be in charge, she looks to you and she says, "Would only be a few hours now."
Thank you. And start after Cronag.
Before
Cronag.
you two leave, is there anything you can help us with? Any items that may help or something?
What do you wish? We can only give what little we may have available.
Whatever you think will help.
You see the female body, dissipate to leaves and wind and sort of rush away. And as it rushes away, it swirls around amongst trees and things, and you can hear the bristling of the rest of the forestry around you. And it pulls back in, and two red potions in her hand that you would recognize to be larger, the second size, the greater healing potions. And she hands them forward to you, Nancy.
Thank you.
That is all we could find on the dead in the nearby forestry. And then with that, they both flutter off into the wind, leaves and sticks sort of dissipating, leaving that quiet, calm morning sun again as Kramak and Breath head off.
So they were what? The potions.
Not the standard healing potion. The next one up, I think it's the greater healing potion.
Yeah.
All right. So is everyone heading off after Kramak and Breath?
Yep.
Yes.
I look at Cavalry. So shall we?
Yes.
Okay, so you get back onto the pathway where you can see all the cart workers and all the footprints of the enemy you were trailing. But this time you have the advantage of it being daylight, early morning. We're talking about sort of 8 in the morning, or early enough, and the grass track is easy to follow. The grass and dirt track's easy to follow amongst the thick forestry. The light isn't blocked out at all in the day. The sunlight pushes through as easy as it can, and then Jesus, you guys make it hard to concentrate.
I was just thinking the same thing.
And no one on the Twitch can see this.
No, they can't. Just
The
give
viewers
you
at
guys
home,
in the
they're
chat.
emoting all over the
Basically,
Skype.
chat time.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of emotes going on in the Skype chat right now. It's just, sorry. It's fun.
Someone figured out how to do emotes and it goes bloop bloop every time they do one.
Right, let's get back to it. So,
That's
Yeah.
okay. I was trying my best to block it out.
Cormac, because he sort of took off a little bit in front of everyone else, while he's walking, he clutches his holy symbol, which is around his neck, and just mutters under his breath, Volkith, I swear to you, if this is illicit, it shall die this day. And just keeps walking. And basically power walking, like he's not slow, he's not like running, just forcefully walking forward. Checking, knowing that there's going to be possibly more traps, is definitely aware and kind of checking, but not like full on checking. Just he's sort of glancing around, but walking with a purpose.
Okay.
Try and catch up to Cormac and kind of tap him on the shoulder and ask him to explain what these illithid are, please. Why? What?
Foul creatures. They experiment on all manner of humanity, as these tree folk have said. They turn you into insane things. You hard to explain. They're a parasite on this world. Our people have been slaughtering them for as long as I can remember.
Okay. And how?
They are powerful, very powerful.
Did they have any anything that weaknesses is the word I'm looking for? Do they have any weaknesses?
They are not strong, physically strong, but they are mentally strong. So they will attack your mind. Must be strong-willed, all of you. And at this point, he Cormac sort of stops, let the rest catch up, and so that the rest can hear what he's got to say. These creatures will enter your head, and they will try to turn us on each other. Be prepared, best you can. Strike them down swiftly and furiously. Do not hesitate, for they will not hesitate to do the same to you.
Okay.
And pray you do not get captured, or you will become one of them.
Brett, do you have information on weaknesses further?
I don't think they really have like a weakness per se. It's more of physical damage. I know they are a little bit more resistant towards magic. Pull out a book and start flicking through. Yes. That's
So-
pretty much it.
Breath, with that, just give me a... What would it be for you? Just give me an intelligence check, thanks.
Intelligence check.
So you're quick at looking through books. You had a
12.
rough idea. 12. Yeah, basically what you said. You know, and you agree with Cormac on that. They're not a super strong creature when it comes to bodily, muscles and things like that.
Oops.
They
Press wrong button.
they definitely have a lot of magic within them, and you can't really see anything flipping through your books on major weaknesses. But yeah, pretty much as you were saying, they were not going to. If you take one on directly mano a mano, it's definitely gonna not like it. It's not good with weapons and things like that. But it's very powerful in the magic scenario, which a few of you have some magic skills. So other than that, the knowledge shared between Breath and Cramax, pretty much everything you guys would know about them at this stage. Nancy, anything you want to do on the road or talk to these guys about?
No.
Good. Playing the quiet game, I see.
Yes. Taking it all in.
Excellent. So you guys, as you're heading through the early morning, Cramak, roll an investigation. You said you were, even though you were sort of stalking away, you did say you were looking just to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, not too closely, just enough to, because I'm aware that they're going to be possibly more traps heading further forward potentially. So I'm just sort of keeping half an eye out as I'm sort of purposely moving forward.
Yeah, roll investigation, and we'll see. We'll say perception more than investigation.
Perception. It was better. 19.
Sweet. Yeah, so you do it's not too long up the road. Within that first hour, after you sort of guys have chatted about what an illithid and a mind flayer is and what it can do, and as you're talking about it, you sort of finish your sentence and you spot like someone's laid some fronds of the trees down just nicely over the grass, and if you weren't looking, you probably wouldn't have seen it. And you see just under these fronds are some sort of, someone's taken a piece of wood and sort of sharpened the end of it, and you can see that with a knife, that knife sharpened sort of edge poking out just under these bit of trees on the grass.
Watch your step. Another trap here.
How big's the trap?
Looking at it now that he's pointed it out, it takes up, it's right across the pathway and about 2 meters ahead of you as well. You can see now, looking at it, taking in the size of it, that there's multiple sticks that are covered with these branches. It looks like spikes that are about to pop up underneath him that walks forward.
I'll make a wide berth around said trap.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna mold earth straight through the middle of the trap.
That works.
Yeah, man. So easily done. It's a cantrip, right? So you don't have to do anything for it. So
Kamak sort of just turns and looks at Breath. Impressive. Well done.
When you see it first.
That is very, very handy.
And basically what you guys see is the ground beneath it just goes, and little earth sort of pushes through. The trap trips off, and it just sort of wrecks the trap as it rolls through, giving you a direct path across this trap.
Oh, by the way, just before I forget, while I was talking about the illithid, I'm also going to ask motivational speech. Motivational speech. So you address allies, staff, or innocent bystanders to exhort and inspire them to greatness. Whether they have anything to get excited about or not, choose up to 5 creatures within range that can hear you. For the duration each are affected gains 5 temporary hit points and has advantage on wisdom saving throws.
Alright, so you guys have 5 temporary hit points and advantage of wisdom saves. How long does that last, man?
An hour.
Sweet. So you've got your imbued axe, the cavalry, and now you also, all of you just feel with the talk that you had with Kramak that his information was enough to make you feel a bit more confident about what you're heading into. And then with Breath just making a walkway straight across this trap, everything feels like it's on a good path today. Until the sky falls. just
no!
Kidding.
The sky is falling, the sky is falling.
And as you continue your path after this trap, it was like the first hour of travel kind of thing. You carry through for about another half an hour, and then you start seeing I guess what you'd say is almost like markings of a village coming up. You can see suddenly there's posts sticking out of the ground. Same thing, sharpened to points, but they're not making a fence yet. They're just sort of like marking out an area. And as you see these posts, you can see two beings ahead of you sitting against these posts.
Who being? Are they humanoid?
They are humanoid. You've only sort of just come into a space where you can see this, so you're not in any sort of position to be seen, but you can see two beings just sitting at these posts. Or what? That's all you can see at this point. They look humanoid-ish.
Are they moving at all? Here we are. They look like they're moving or just completely static.
If you could guess, you could say maybe they're sleeping against these couple of posts.
Okay. I'll just sort of turn over my shoulder. You all see them, yes?
Everyone sees it, yeah.
I'm just making sure because I'm sort of thinking about my dream as well.
Oh, sorry.
So I turn to them and say, you all see these people, yes?
Are they asleep? It looks like.
It appears they might be. We should check to make sure they're okay.
I would like to slowly trot up and kind of put my hand against to see if there's breath. No offense, breath.
So you trot ahead of the group, and they, like I say, you get up to them, and they're sitting there, and you get your hand close by, but you can tell straight away these two figures, now that you're close, they're dead, and they are people you recognize too from your village. One of them is the old man at the beginning who was calling to you guys to toss the mead barrel, and he's got lacerations over his arms and legs. He's just wearing just a sort of off-white loincloth type piece of garment, and you can see bite marks out of his shoulder and bite marks from his neck and the lacerations. On the other side is a female woman, a human woman, and she used to be the general store owner, but she is no longer going to own a general store. She's missing a leg which has been torn off, and one of her arms has been chewed on, that you can see the bone and bits hanging out of it. And they've just been sat here, left to sort of, I don't know, maybe like get a bit of steak, and how you leave it out on the bench to get a bit nicer, a bit more tender. That's what they've been left here to do by the looks.
Mac's gonna walk up, join cavalry, sort of kneel down and sort of bow his head and make a silent prayer for the dead to his queen. But he's also then going to turn to cavalry, and I can, if you think we need more information, I can speak to them.
Possibly. And I'm going to quickly look around to see if anyone's still in the vicinity, like they've just eaten and are here. They're probably...
You're going to look around actively, so roll investigation for me. Thanks, cavalry.
And I don't see anything. That's a 4.
4.
So yeah, you have a good look around, and you don't see a lot. You can tell that these bodies have been dead a little while, but you're not seeing much. You're almost taken aback by it because you recognise these people. It's cut home a bit, and you're not focusing as well on sort of looking for what you should be.
Perhaps you should speak to them.
I sort of turn back to the rest of the group. Do you think we need more information before we move on? I can speak to these people for a short time, if necessary, but I'm in two minds. We may need more information, but at the same time, I do not wish to disturb the dead.
Well, they're outside the village anyway, so it's not like they could really give us any information that would be helpful. I'm just think
they would have taken from the village. last
Yeah,
night.
but they were also killed and left outside of this village last
This
night.
is true.
You might have to save your powers for later.
Yeah. I think
Also
it'd
very
just be-
true.
I think it'd just be best to leave the dead for now.
I'm going to... Cormac's going to lay them both down. Sort of pull them off the path a little bit and lay them both down and sort of cross their hands across their chest. If are their eyes still open or their eyes closed?
Yeah, their eyes both still open, erringly just staring, but they, that glazed over dead look.
Okay. I'm going to close both your eyes, placing a copper piece over your eyes to hold them closed.
Okay. Noted. You take them off the pathway to the side of the
Yeah.
path.
I'm not going to bury them, just going to lay them out, like,
Yeah.
respectfully, and close their eyes and lay the copper pieces over their eyelids to keep their eyes closed.
Sweet as. And anyone else doing anything at this point?
No.
Just keeping an eye out to make sure that nothing is sneaking up on us.
Same.
Awesome. Okay, so for those of you keeping an eye out, there's two of you there, so you might as well, one of you can either make the check or both of you make the check. Just do you're keeping an eye out, so do a perception check, thanks. At advantage for one of you, or both of you make a check, one or the other.
I'll go with mine, natural 20, so
Nat 20
Dirty 20.
and a dirty
Yeah.
20. Look at that.
So while Cramak is doing this, you guys are like, man, we're getting close. The witch Grignal said to you guys that it was not far away, and you've already travelled some time, so you've got your eyes wide open, checking about. Nothing creeps up on you. You see some birds flutter into the forestry, and you notice a piece of, and this is what you see, Breath, a piece of the forestry just grabs this bird and just drags it in, and it's about 100 meters off up in the sky, and you see it just whips it back into the forestry, and then you see sort of feathers and just they flutter down. Nancy, you don't spot that. You're looking sort of through the forestry, seeing what's coming, or what could be coming around you, and you can see more undergrowth, like a rabbit just bound through, and almost like a small Venus flytrap just bam, just grabs this rabbit, and that's what you guys see while you're trying to keep your eyes out for any of the enemy. This is a very dark place.
I shiver, going, okay, this is not right.
yeah, this forest is
This place is
Yeah.
cursed.
Randall, stay on the road.
Be
What's the
very,
rule
be
again?
very careful.
Dragonborn. That's
This
right.
place is definitely cursed.
I was just looking at that for lunch.
The rabbit or the bird? Oh, I'm about to have a bird for lunch if you can.
Rabbit,
I don't know what
rabbit.
that squeaking is.
I'll fight
Yeah.
you for it. Oh,
Right.
no.
So Nancy,
Let's-
you were sort of saying that you're on the road, but you've got a path sort of carved out for you. Not so much a road as such, but yeah, definitely a path. Are you guys edging forward again?
Let's keep moving and see if we can find this village.
Sweet. So
I'll be back.
Bird for dinner tonight.
small drumsticks on that one. So and as he's gone, I won't go into anything too detailed, but you've got it roughly. You carry forward, and you can see that the spikes in the ground that the two of your villagers were leaning against. They start to become more frequent. They're definitely marker posts for something. Usually what you'd see outside a village or within 100 meters or so of a village, sort of marking the main roadway into a
Oh,
village.
so
But-
the like road markers every 10 meters, 100, well, whatever. Unlike
they're
on
roughly
okay.
10 to 20 meters apart each. Yeah, they're not any specific major. They haven't measured them out perfectly, so they
Yeah.
just come along and jam them in and then carve them off. And every now and then there's a dead animal spiked on one, and you saw your villagers sort of just sitting next to one of these dryad harpy creatures that the witch Grignal mentioned is like speared right through one, and she's all made of like leaves and twigs. They're all sort of stuck together, but she's got these large feathered wings. And when I say feathered, they're feathered with tree leaves. Instead of feathers, as you get closer, there's these long green leaves, and you can see that this harpy has been mixed with a dryad somehow, and it's a very weird, beastie looking creature that has just been spiked through the spike. And then you get closer again, and on the neck, few spikes with nothing on, and then there's the head of an ogre of all things stabbed onto the spike. And it just keeps going like that until finally, after that sort of half hour, roughly 30 to 40 minutes, you start seeing the spikes in a fence row, and you have come into a clearing of some description. All right, so what you can see really is just log posts that reach about, and they're pretty high. They're quite about a meter round trees, and they reach right up, sort of almost, say, like a 12-foot stud, that sort of height, and they peak off at the side, and they've been jammed together to make a fence or something. And there's one great big ogre sort of standing with a club over his shoulder, and he's, when I say standing, it's loosely, he's sort of leaning his head down. He looks like he could be asleep as well, but he's standing in front of what seems to be a large wooden gate with these great spikes. And
So how far away are we from him?
Fair distance. Probably a good 300 feet. So what's that into something? Yeah, 150 odd meters. 150.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow up my pace the moment I catch sight of him.
Sweet.
I think we may have found what we're looking for. There is a guard posted here. I think we need to slow down and approach more stealthily. My armor will be a bit noisy, so I will move to the back. If someone more stealthy would like to move to the front.
We sure he's alive?
Does not matter. It is ogre.
I'll stand ready with the crossbow.
I've got my long sword out.
We need to move quietly and see if we can determine if there's any more. Maybe patrolling a perimeter of some sort.
Yeah,
but we need to be careful.
Right as you say that, Kramak, you hear movement, and it's just sort of the same distance away. You hear movement in the forestry, and two orogs come from sort of, if you're looking at this place, they come from the right hand side, and they walk across the gate line across together, and they walk right across to the left hand side and sort of disappear into the forestry again as you watch on. So there is definitely some sort of guard movement.
I think we should wait here for a moment and see how long it takes for them to come back. See what sort of time frame we are looking at for potentially taking down this ogre quietly. And I sort of start to move into the edge of the tree line, away from sort of out of plain view as much as possible, just so I can still see the main gate. And I'm just going to sit and watch and wait to see if those two or I'll come back again and sort of keep a rough count in my head.
Okay, cool.
Sort of give myself a rough timing.
Yep. While you're doing that, Breath, what are you going to do? I'll wait until he had a biscuit in his mouth.
Or a bird.
Tiny drumsticks.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. Just sit down and watch the patrol, see what happens.
So, which side of the road were you heading to, Kramak? You said off to the side.
Left side.
What? Left side. Okay, Breath, are you going to head the same way as Kramak?
Yeah, I'll stick with Kramak.
Okay. Nancy, what's your plans here? Are you going to follow them, or you got your own plans?
I'll go to the right side, but back a little bit, just keeping an eye on it.
Okay, cool. So you just pull back into the tree. Same thing, just keep an eye on what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, and cavalry?
I was also going to the right side, so
Okay,
that we're not all together.
Good as gold. Yeah, so you split 2 by 2 at the moment, and you're looking for the same things. Just keep an eye on the guard rotation. And Radl, you have a choice, right or left, or you can do your own thing.
I'm almost tempted to cast Disguise Self and make
Whatever
myself
Rado would do, mate.
look like one of these trolls and just have a quick wander past, have a look.
Okay, so
Not a troll.
I understood what she meant.
One of them things.
She's looking right at it. She,
One
she
them
hopes she
things.
doesn't turn into a troll. Yeah, so you watch as two of your mates head off one side and the other two head off the other, and so you disguise yourself to look similar to one of the Orogs or one of the ogres.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna do a walk by. Like,
What's the height of your character?
I'm
About 6 foot.
6 foot.
Yep, sweet. So you definitely could do an Orog. An ogre, you know, they tower a bit more. They're closer between sort of 10 to 12 feet and what you can see here. So you could Orog easily. Ogre, you would be a dwarfed ogre.
I'll be an Orog then. I'll go Orog.
Awesome. Sweet. So you disguise self, and what is your plan here?
Do we see you disguise yourself at this point, or because you were behind us?
That's a good question. Are you doing it so your mates know?
Yeah, I'll do it so that they know, so they don't turn around and have a go at me, because that wouldn't be much fun.
It'll be hilarious for me, but
Well, that's what I was thinking. If I didn't see it,
I'll just pull on Cavalry's tail and say I'm just gonna change. Okay?
wardrobe.
She's used to me. She's used to it.
You got this.
Rattle, not too close.
No.
Be very careful.
I'll just
If there are illithid around, they will know that it is you. Careful.
Okay, also, no, that'll do. I'll just
Gotten real
disguise
quiet.
Oh, sorry, because I'm not talking to my thing. I'll disguise self, and I will do a quick pat back and
Okay.
forth once.
So an Orog is this large orcish being, but with larger muscle features in there. What color Orog are you going to go as, and what are your distinct features?
I'm going to go for a sickly green, because is that what they are?
Sickly green. Yeah, some are grey,
And-
some are green.
And with a big nose.
Big nose. Awesome. And you're heading up, or you're just getting close to the
I'm just
ogre?
getting close so I can see a little bit more of what's going on around the area. I don't
That's an Orog, people.
I just want to look like
Fancy.
I'm part of the patrol, so I'm going back and then past the gate and then back again.
Okay, cool. So those of you who went to the left side, so that's Breath and Kramak, can I just get a perception roll from you two first before we do what Radl does?
Dirty 20.
14.
Yeah, so pretty good from both of you. So you guys, you're waiting for that guard post that sort of came through. You're waiting for their next return, and a good 10 minutes goes by and nothing. And as you're sort of waiting, you can hear movement in the forestry. Whether it's from them or from someone else, you're not sure. But no sign of them yet after 10 minutes. After 20 minutes, still no sign of that same guard lot. On the opposite side, Cavalry and Nancy, I'll get you to roll perceptions as well.
22. Dirty.
14.
Good. Yeah, so similar rolls again. You guys from where you are on that side can see there's like a walkway almost above. You can't see the walkway, but you see movement from above the fence line where an Orog sort of walks the boundary on top of the fence line and goes out from the I was going to say the boys' side. From Kramak's side, you guys couldn't spot that. It's sort of above you, but from the opposite side, they could see it. And yeah, so you know that there's a single guard doing a post up on that area. But once again, 20 minutes goes by and no repeat of the lower guards. Radl, you get close. How close?
Close enough to not look suspicious, but to be able to see just inside the gate and see what we could be dealing with, potentially.
So the gate's ajar wide enough for a single Orog, easy for one of you guys to pass through, wide enough for a single Orog to pass in and out of. But for all intents and purposes, the gate is pretty much closed with this ogre in front. On your sort of pass through, the ogre looks up and he says, "Hey, which one of you? You all look the same to me. Are you Michelle or are you Adam? Are you Donald? Are you Sean or are you Annie? I don't know. You all Orogs look the bloody same."
G'day. I'm Bob.
You Bob? Right, Bob. Bob, I didn't know you meant to be on watch today, Bob. I thought you were keeping an eye on the prisoners, eh?
I was just out having a, quick nosy, make sure there's nothing out here. I'll come back in a minute. I just gotta have a quick look around the corner there.
Okay, Bob. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. He sort of puts his club back on his shoulder and he's okay. See you later then. All right.
I wave
He just
and
waves
carry
back.
on walking.
So yeah, he didn't notice you at all. I made a roll and he did not notice you at all. It didn't think anything suspicious. He just thought you were one of the boys.
I had a very deep O-Rog voice going on there.
Good to know that IROGs have some pretty sensible names too.
Oh yeah, awesome names.
Good old Bob.
Right, so back to everyone else. So
So how long has it been since the guards passed the gate, roughly?
So now,
give or take.
by the time this has all been on, around 30 minutes.
And they still
between
haven't
30 and
returned?
40 minutes. Still no return of the guards.
Okay, so they're obviously not patrol. I turn to Breath and say to her, maybe this is not a patrol, but 30 minutes we have not seen them.
And as you're saying that, on the opposite side, Cavalry and Nancy see that guard along the top of the fence line again come past. So you see his rotation within that 30-minute marker, or around that 30-minute marker.
So I think what Kamek probably, and can we see Radl at this point still?
Yeah, so Radl, you were up with the ogre, you had a little chat, and what did you do from there?
I turned around and went out of his range so he couldn't see me, and then I'll change back and go and tell the others what I did or didn't see.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so you would have had to sort of move back and then sort of go off road sort of to the edge of the forestry like they did. No hassle. Yep.
And I think I'd probably regroup with Cavalry and Nancy as well anyway, move across the road. Just
Awesome.
not quite, I mean, not stealthily, just quickly and quietly just dart across the road. Make sure that we're not seen.
Good as.
I'll let them know that actually there's not supposed to be any patrols out, but there are prisoners and guards inside, as the ogre did tell me.
Yeah, and you could see just through the crack of the gate, by where you got to, that you could see minimal. You could see some grassed area, some sort of dirt area, some fire, from where you were, maybe a fire pit that was not going, but you couldn't make out anything much more than that. You couldn't, unless you wanted to get closer.
No, that's fine. I don't want to give myself away. I'm not, in
Exactly.
for doing that.
And as you guys all sort of regroup back together, sort of further down the way, just off the road, that's when, and I'm not going to make you roll again, there's high perceptions, that's when Breath and Kramak, your patrol, come through the forestry again. It's about nearly an hour, not quite 50 minutes. They sort of emerge from the forestry, going the same way they were going before. They go across the road, they stop for a second and have a bit of a murmur to the ogre, and then carry on again.
All right. So,
So the patrol did not come back across the gate, so I'm assuming it is not a patrol. And if what Radl has said is true, then we should be alright outside.
There is a guard that is keeping watch up over there, though.
What sort of time frame is his movements? Did you notice?
It was 30 minutes, wasn't it?
it's
Between 20 and 30.
Okay.
And so just to correct you too, Kramak, the guards did come through as you guys were regrouping. They came through about that 50-minute mark. They stopped right now.
An hour? Okay.
Yeah. They were talking to you. Were just announcing that break. That was also
Okay.
where we missed it. But yeah, so they're talking to the ogre, at the middle of the walkway now, and then they're about to sort of move on. They're just having a chat with the ogre.
Okay, so I'll rephrase. Looks like the patrol is about an hour, give or take. But we have time if we are careful. I don't know what to expect. Radel, what did you see from the gate as far as other guards and prisoners?
Honestly, not a lot. Just what the ogre was telling me about the prisoners. I did see some guards, did I?
Yeah, not really. You didn't see
No.
any. Without getting closer, you couldn't see.
Those guards that watch that, they're patrolling outside, yes?
Correct. Yep. The one that you saw up high was on the inside of the fence, like it's almost if there's a walkway around the fence, and the two on the outside are on the ground about 5 or 6 meters back from the fence. They just sort of, it's almost like they're doing a circumference or a square or whatever this building size is. They're just going round and round this building somehow, which means it takes their dawdling walk. They're not in a rush. You can see they're just casually strolling, like they don't seem worried. So the dawdling walk takes about an hour, like Cramak said, about an hour.
But with that, if it's been that long, the temporary hit points in that now have faded.
Yes, and the additional +1 to the weapon cavalry has also disappeared. Hey, but you know you can do it.
I was going to suggest with those 2 roaming guards that we take them out, so we don't alert a huge group.
I agree. If we need to get closer to have a look, we don't want to be disturbed by a patrol.
And you guys can hear the voices now lifting where the ogre and the 2 guards are talking. There's a bit more going on than just normal talking now. One of the guards says, "No, we don't all look same. You all look same." And the big ogre goes, "No, me think you all look same." And they're back and forth like that, and then the 2 guards sort of wave off. They sort of, and they, in their own languages, sort of make some swearing marks and then carry on their patrol again back through the forest. They're just heading off the path into the forestry now.
I want to chat. You guys up for a bit of shadowing?
Yes.
Shadowing?
Follow.
We should, yes, we should follow, and then when the opportunity arises, we should dispatch them, and quickly.
I can look like one of them for a while.
That might help.
I think they would notice a third suddenly appear.
I don't know, they don't seem very intelligent.
You could lure that one away from the door to us, maybe.
There is that too, but we still need to take care of patrol, because
Take
if
care
they
of the patrols, then we lure the guard. Yes.
Okay.
it's, so we're going to start moving through the trees towards the same direction as the Orogs.
Okay.
And we have to do it fairly stealthily, so
Yeah, so I get everyone to roll stealth if you're all going that way. Is anyone planning on staying behind?
Hang on. How do I say your name again, Nutty?
Rattle.
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 Your disguise, how long does that last for?
Hang on. It lasts for an hour.
An hour.
Mhm.
Because I can disguise myself too.
Ooh, we could be another patrol.
I like.
Should be interesting.
Kind of like a bit of what we did in the Parabol. Yeah.
And the what now? I don't know what
The
you're
weird-
talking about, Nancy.
Yeah, that thing, yeah.
You could
Yeah, that-
argue about how you look same. Oh.
Yes,
We could.
it'd be a good distraction.
All right, so
But we must move, otherwise they will get too far ahead of us.
So are you guys planning on taking the patrol or planning on taking the ogre at this point?
Oh,
Patrol.
Oh.
Okay, so and you've said you were going to head into the forest, so I'll
Yep.
just get stealths off you. You must be talking about this while trying to be stealthy, a bit
Yep.
whispery.
Yeah.
So stealths from everyone, thanks.
and mine at disadvantage
Unfortunately, yours at disadvantage.
because of my armor.
Right, let's see who gets what. Breath, what did you get?
17.
Okay, next is Nancy.
Yeah, 11.
Cavalry.
5. Clip
It's
drop.
those hooves.
Cranmac.
8.
Oh, shit.
And Rattle.
13.
13. Right, yeah, so communally, not too bad. I'm
Really?
just doing some quick math here. And now, so Aradal and Nancy both doing your illusions, your costumes, whatever
Yeah.
it was you're doing. Yep. So you both look like Orogs now.
Yeah.
Sweet as. Are you leading this group in their stealth?
I would say probably yes, because, yeah.
Okay, so you guys get up, and you can see as you head through the forestry, like I said, these Orogs, they're laboursome, they're cumbersome, they're heavy, they're carrying these heavy axes, and they just stomp through the underbrush, and they're not trying to be quiet at all, so they can't hear you. You're doing really well, right up until the point where Cranmac and Cavalry both, there's like a dried, rotted log, and Cavalry steps on it, and it sort of goes, and then as she steps on it, it flicks up, and it catches Cranmac, and both of you...
Right in the shield.
Yeah, right.
Clang!
Yeah, and it's like...
God damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
I turn around and look at Nancy, and I swing my axe or whatever it is.
Your weapon?
My weapon.
And with that, I go, watch where you're aiming that thing, will ya?
I take it you're swinging at the enemy, or you're swinging at Nancy?
At Nancy.
Are you swinging at Nancy?
I'm
sort
not
of...
swinging to hit, I'm swinging to make, like, up for the noise behind us.
Oh, right, I see. Yes. Yep. I'm just
And
going
Cranmac sort of just stops dead and puts his hand on his shield, being a metal shield, trying to dampen that noise as quickly as possible.
So they're barely ahead of you now, maybe 10 meters, but the forestry is quite thick, and you hear that all the noise you guys have suddenly made. Rattle does a quick swing. Nancy says, "Look what you're swinging that thing." These two Orogs, one of them says, "Oi, what's that there?" And the other one looks at the first one. They both look around the forestry a bit, and don't spot you at all. They sort of glance, and they glance to the rear of themselves. I've rolled pretty low here. They glance to the rear of themselves. They see nothing. You guys are more, say, off to the left of them as they're sort of hooking around, and yeah, you are absolutely so lucky. It could have been definitely Rattle and Nancy making their cover story must have worked. and these two guards, they pause, they look, and then they sort of shrug and carry on. Must have been rats or something, and away they go. like any good rabbits. Like any good Metal Gear Solid game. Huh? In the wind.
Huh? What was that?
What was that?
And you guys get away with it. So yeah.
I think Cranmac could probably wait like just a few moments just to make sure,
Okay.
and then start moving again.
The rest of you holding position as well for a moment.
Moving up, I'm gonna go up ahead.
Okay, cool. Still trying to stealth.
Well, now that I'm in my disguise, probably not.
No, you're
No.
not going to worry about it. Sweet. So okay, so Nancy and Rattle both heading forward together. The rest of you sort of holding back a little.
Yep.
Okay. You get within, I'll say melee range now. You know, within an arm's distance, and these two guards just talk. You can hear them talking among themselves. Hey, did you see old Jimmy the other night? He was, when we were dragging those wagons back, he was trying to get a good gnawing on that dwarf child. Oh, I hate the taste of dwarf at night. It's terrible. And that's what you hear right as they're in front of you.
I'm sorry at that. I'm just going to biff a fireball at him.
Oh, a fireball.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a fireball, do you,
Firebolt.
Raya?
Firebolt.
Firebolt.
So wrong
It
campaign.
begins.
Okay, firebolt. You're going to get the jump with your firebolt before we go into initiative because you've called it. So roll away for firebolt.
And
As she does that, I ready my crossbow.
Yep,
to
sweet
hit.
as. You guys will get surprised, so you'll get advantage. But she's just giving the firebolt. So, how much to hit? Sorry, Rattle. 5. Okay, so
Wow.
maybe you won't get advantage. So Rado goes, obviously deeply upset about this talk about eating a dwarven child, and boom, a firebomb just goes streaking between the two. It hits a tree, and it just lights up on fire. And the two
And I turn
Orogs,
around and I go, where did that come from?
they turn around and they see you in that. Does casting a spell not take your disguise down? Can you check that for me? I'm not sure.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No.
Sweet. Okay, so this tree goes up, woof, and they turn around and see these two Orogs behind them. And the first one says, Bob, is that you? And the other one looks and goes, this is our patrol. What are you doing out here?
We're relieving you.
We've come to take over from you guys because you've been told it's time to go for Smoko.
You don't relieve us till lunch. Lunch is still... And he looks up at the sky, at the sun.
Now.
2 hours away.
No. They're having it early today. Something to do with moving the prisoners.
Casual Friday.
We only just put the prisoners there. Roll a persuasion.
Persuasion. Dirty 20.
Dirty tweet. Nice.
And I rolled a nat 1, so...
Well, net one from the DM, guys.
And so both of them are like, ugh. First one looks at the other one and goes, what do you think, Adam? Bob never lies. The other one says, all right. Thanks, Bob. We didn't get the memo. And they both sort of trudge off. As they're trudging off, however, my other dice was quite high. The tree just up in flames. The next tree, even though this forest is twisted and gnarled and cursed looking, everything is just igniting on fire around you. Luckily, there's no wind blowing it anyway, but it's catching fast.
The dryads, Nutty, the dryads.
Oh, okay. I see this, and I start controlling flames.
Okay, what are you going to do with these flames?
I'm going to instantaneously extinguish as many flames as I can.
All right. It gives you an area, right? 20
60
square?
foot.
60 foot. Oh, no,
60
okay. So
Oh,
So-
no.
That's
5
the
foot square.
range. Yeah, 5 foot
5
square.
foot square.
yeah. Okay,
So I'm going to keep just casting this at 5 foot squares of bloody wood.
okay, so
hoping.
it's going to take like 10 casts to get this done, and you just
Hit the
sort of
cantrip. It's okay.
boom, 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 and you can see the fire goes out, and a little bit more catches the fire goes out. And finally, you get it under control. I want you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
No. Con save. Oh no, hang on, save. Oh,
Yeah,
it's not
save.
any better. Oh god, it's worse. 10.
Okay, Nancy, you're not doing anything while she's doing it. You're just watching her try and dissolve this fire.
I'm just shaking my head. No.
As you see her, she finally gets that fire out after casting. Oh, and she is exhausted. 1 level, Rattle.
Fair enough.
And
was
with
a lot of
that,
work.
with that, as the other two Orogs start walking away,
So they're walking towards you guys at the rear now. Well, not towards you, but past your
yeah,
direction.
I'm just gonna after seeing the firebolt mishap, I'm just gonna open up with Sacred Flame on the lead Orog.
Okay. We'll go into initiative, but you'll get advantage for surprise. The 3 of you, so Breath, Cavalry, and Kramek.
I was going to aim my crossbow at them as they were leaving as well.
Yep. So I'll give everyone advantage on the attack because they were persuaded by Radl. So you guys will get initiative, but you can either take advantage on the initiative or advantage on the first attack. It's up to you.
I'll take advantage on the initiative.
Sweet as.
I won't tell you what my first roll is.
I've got a feeling there's a reason why he wanted advantage.
If you look at the chat, it'll tell you what the reason was.
Righto. So that was a nat 1, was it?
It was.
Okay, so we'll go around the and I'm just going in order of what I see on the Twitch monitor, guys, in case you're wondering. So, Breath, you're up first. What did you roll?
11.
Okay. Nancy,
15.
Nice. And cavalry.
19.
Kramak.
15.
Sweet, not too bad. And Radl.
I'll take advantage on the first attack and go with my 9.
Sweet as. Yeah,
Now
so those of
remember
you
with
didn't take advantage
exhaustion,
on
you've
your
got
initiative,
disadvantage
you
on your attacks and saving throws.
Which
Uh,
means I just get
first
a normal
level's
roll.
just saving throws for
Just
first
saving
level.
throws? Okay.
Yep.
Sweet. God damn it.
I knew there was a disadvantage there somewhere.
Yeah, just on saving throws for first. That's actually good for you. So cavalry, you're up first.
So have they
Disadvantage on ability checks.
gone, have they
Correction,
gone
DM.
Sorry, ability checks. Yeah.
past me yet?
Yeah. So right at the point where you guys sort of readied everything and Kramak was about to attack, they're right pretty much
Right
10
there.
meters in front of you, at your level. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go right behind the first one and say, Bob lied about lunch, and smack him with my halberd.
Attack away. Roll.
Which misses with 11.
Okay, yeah. You take that swing, and the old Orog, he's a little quicker than you thought. As you sort of announced, oh, Bob lied, he sort of looks at you and sees the incoming attack, and boof, he just ducks out of the way. You have another attack, I believe?
Yes, and that hits for 23.
Yeah, that's a hit this time, for sure.
And that is 8 damage.
Okay, first Orog takes 8 damage. Yeah, so you with that first miss, you right yourself and you swing back and catch him nicely across the side. Is that it for you, cavalry? Nothing else you want to do there?
That's it, yeah.
Sweet as. All right. Up next is Kramak, and you were readying your
I was going to cast Sacred Flame, so it's a dexterity save from
dex save.
the lead Orog.
That's an 11 for him.
That would be a failure,
I knew it would be.
and so he will take 9 points of radiant damage.
All right.
As Kramak sort of just reaches his hand out, grabs his holy symbol, and just fires a brilliant, radiant white sacred flame, which will then erupt from the earth beneath his feet.
All right, and which it does, boom, and that column of light just shoots through him, and he sort of, and he screams out. Is that it for Kramak?
That is pretty much it, I think. That was action. Sort of bonus action. As a bonus action, we'll cast. No, he won't. No, he's not going to do anything else. I'm just going to move into a position where I can sort of get between them and where they were going. So sort of move around in a flanking position, but still maintain range.
Still at range? Yep, that's cool. Nancy, you see that column of light as the Orog screams out. What would you like to do?
Attack the one behind. The
Okay.
crossbow.
Yeah, sweet. So this is the first one that both the others have attacked. The one from behind hasn't taken damage yet. Fire away, and with your crossbow, no hassle.
21.
Yep. Yep, that's a hit.
6 damage.
6 damage, yeah. The bolt just streaks through the air, lodges right in the center of his spine at the back, and you hear him another sort of cry out, "Ah, damn it! Why you shoot at me?" As he sees you still in your disguise, as he turns his head and sees you aiming your crossbow at him.
Wasn't me, it was her. Him. It.
Bob did it.
Bob did it.
Nancy, anything else you have to do in your turn?
No.
Nope. Okay, it is now their turn. The first one, the lead one that was hit by Kramak and cavalry, he is in toe-to-toe with cavalry, so he's going to make his swings at cavalry. The first one is 15 to hit. And the second one is 20 to hit, dirty 20 to hit. Are they hits, cavalry?
Oh, me? Yes.
For a second
The
there, I thought you were
15 and the
muted.
23, they hits.
Yes. I am 15, so
That must still be a hit, yeah.
Definitely.
yes.
Yeah, so you take
Sorry.
15 total points of slashing damage
Oh.
from the Orog. The other one that got tagged in the back by Nancy, he's like, the enemy is there, and he runs towards Kramak, who's sort of walked out on his own. No one sees you yet, Breath. You're just a bit further back. You've kept out of the way. However, he's got to move double movement to get to Kramak, so he has no action at this stage. And Breath, it is your turn as this Orog streaks past you to get to Kramak.
The Orog that just streamed past me. I'm going to do anything to him. So there's two of them there that have already taken damage. One's in combat with
cavalry.
cavalry.
And the other one's heading towards Kramak.
Yeah, I'm going to magic missile the one that is in combat with cavalry.
Sweet as, no hassle. Roll for damage because magic missile is automatic hits.
Yep, so that's 11 points of damage.
Sweet, yeah. So your missiles. How many darts? 3? Just at level 1.
It's 3 darts, yeah.
So you're firing it, and out of your hands, this streaks these. What color are your missiles, Breath? Blue.
Teal.
Teal. That's right. They like these bloody heat-seeking missiles that just go weaving through the forestry and bam, 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 and they just smash into the Orog that's taken a strike at cavalry and done a little bit of damage. But you definitely damaged the Orog. He's sort of, as a beat into his armor, into that leather armor, it's smoldering, leaving sort of smoke blast behind it, and it's force damage, right? So he sort of shunts at the same time. Is that it for Breath?
Yeah, I'm then going to move a little bit around, so I've got a better view on everything.
Bit of range and everything, sweet, good as gold. Yep, sweet as evil. And Radl, last of the round. Take the advantage on your attack.
I'm going to yell out to one of the Orogs, whichever one Nancy hit. I can't remember his name. Yo, mate, your mother dresses you weird and you smell funny. Vicious mockery.
Pretty sure he was Adam, but so yeah, that's so you were vicious mockery. So I had to roll a save, didn't I?
Yep, wisdom save.
That is not good. My wisdom is +0. That is a 3. So that's
So
fair.
you take 8 of psychic damage. Damage.
Correct. Yes.
8 psychic damage.
You see him running with his arrow in his back towards Kramak with his axe raised high, and then he just drops his axe on the ground. He no longer has an axe in his hand, and he grips his head and he's like, "Oh, my mum stopped dressing me 3 years ago." and with that, we're back at the top of the round, cavalry.
Okay. I will continue to hit with halberd.
Definitely.
No, I won't. Yeah, 13.
13 to hit. That's a hit.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a hit this time.
For 10 damage and a 16 to hit for
Yep, the second one was also a hit.
8 damage.
All right, yeah. So you taking that damage has gotten you a little upset, and you just swing, you cleave right through his thigh, and then on the second hit, where are you aiming on that second hit?
Oh, probably the same place.
Same place. You're going for that thigh again. Well, you tell me how he dies then.
Oh. I take his leg clean off, and then I will behead him.
To death with him.
Beat him to death with it.
Yeah, so
I'm very angry.
yeah, you were angry, and you sort of, it's like that cutting down a tree. You hit once, and then the second time you manage to cleave it right off. And yeah, you pick it up, and in that anger, you just give it a slam with it. And you can imagine you're thinking, man, if this guy had 4 legs, this would not have happened.
Two-legged freak.
Yeah. And the racist comes out. Because all your teammates have 2 legs, just in case you hadn't noticed.
So does your best friend.
Am I raging?
Cavalry, is that it for you? I believe
Yes.
it is. Yes. So next up is Kramak. One Orog left.
And that's the
Yeah,
one
his
charging
armor
at
is
me.
damaged, but yeah.
That's the one that's charging at me, yeah?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So I will, I will back away another 30 feet. So that it creates a little bit more distance between him and I. And then I will cast Toll the Dead.
Right. I'll make a wisdom save as well.
There's a wisdom save also, yes.
Oh, that's not good either. 8.
That is also a failure. So, again, clutching my holy symbol, sort of just dipping my head just a little bit, not taking my eyes off him, throw my hand forward, and that bell sounds, and he will take 11 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah, so you see him, he is rushing at you, axe in the air, and he sort of, and he hears that boom in his head, and he just, it's almost like it drops to his knees and skids in the grass, and you can see it tears open some of that leather armor that he's wearing on his knee pads and that, and he just puts his axe on the ground like in a...
No, he dropped his axe.
The other one.
The other one dropped his axe.
Was fighting, dropped his axe. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely got no axe anyway. No, and he's just like, "Damn it, what is that?" And he sort of puts one hand up to his head as he's down on his knees. Doesn't quite put him out, but he's not looking very good. If that is for Kramak.
As a bonus action, he will. Again, just have a quick search around on the ground. Actually, how long is it? Actually, no, I've still got 2 pebbles on me. Am I able to throw a pebble at him as a bonus action?
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yep.
So I'll just make a roll to hit.
Good as gold.
Which will be a natural 20.
Yeah, so you just... you
So
know you don't. Same damage rules as what
Yeah.
you use.
So I take out one of the magic stones that I'd imbued the day before and just throw it at him. He's obviously running towards me. Biff it at him. And it does 7 plus 6, 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, so he's... After that tolling of the bell, he's skidded down on his knees, sort of hands and knees. He tries to get back up and charge at you, but you put him down. How do you put him down? Describe his his demise.
I look at him and I just take half a step back and just fire the stone, and it hits him right smack between the eyes, and it just rocks him back. Eyes roll back in his head, sort of rocks and sort of slumps to one side as the stone is embedded in his forehead, almost like a bullet.
That's exactly how it happens, and with that is the end of combat. I believe we're looking at taking a break.
We are. So that is initiative over, guys. We're going to take a short break. We need sustenance or drinks and toilet break. So chat, bear with us for a few moments. We'll be right back. We're just going to run a quick ad on the Be Right Back screen, and then we'll answer a couple of questions when we go back. If anyone's got any questions in the chat, we'll see you shortly. And I'm back, people. Was waiting for the rest of them to get back from their breaks. Nutty's just making a quick coffee. So again, I'd just like to welcome everyone from the chat. I just want to welcome everyone that's come in tonight. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. And if you got any questions about the channel, about the people in these cameras over here, don't hesitate to ask. Obviously, my name is Evldoa. This is my channel. This is a thing that we do regularly every Sunday night. We are doing this as a one-shot while I've been recovering from dental work. Next week, same time, 7:30 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time, we'll be back with the Paradigm Bold homebrew campaign, which I am Dungeon Master for, and these guys are the players. So I'll be looking forward to getting back to that. On the 9th of July, New Zealand time, will be the return of the Curse of Strahd campaign, which is on Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time, which is Wednesday night for those of you in the US. I think it starts about 7 p.m. Eastern, I believe, on a Wednesday night. So we'll see the return of the Curse of Strahd. And as of Monday, as of tomorrow, all live gaming is returning to the channel as well. So Monday to Friday, 7:30 p.m. start. We're doing some live gaming back on the channel. Mixture of games from World of Warcraft through to Call of Duty, depending on how I feel on the night and what I decide to play. But we'll be doing a whole bunch of live gaming. So definitely come and hang out with us. Join the Discord. Make sure you hit the follow button, hit that notification bell, and join the community. Just waiting on a few people to return. So if the chat has no questions, thank you for the follow. Betten Blake, thank you very much. Basically, we're also looking at a Vampire Masquerade campaign coming up in the future. We've been discussing it for a little while now. We had a bit more of a discussion earlier today before the show. So when the Paradigm campaign is come to its conclusion, we'll be taking a short break from the campaign. We'll do a couple of Just Chatting shows and some preparations, but we will then looking at returning with a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition campaign as well in the future, so keep an eye out for that. There will be other one-shots throughout the campaign as well, so we'll be definitely looking at doing more one-shots in the future, with Baz potentially DMing, or even one of these guys if they want to DM a one-shot at some point. I'd be quite happy to give these guys an opportunity if they wish to do something like that.
Come on.
Come on, Trash.
Why not, Trashy? It seems like it'd be right up your alley. Lots of talking.
Munching on his chips, having kidney issues. You can see the pain in his face. Poor bugger. Yanti needs to DM one, you reckon, Blue Jay? I reckon Yanti would be an awesome DM.
I will be DMing at my house soon.
Well, I reckon you need to come. I reckon you need to think about it and come up with a one shot to DM for us at some point.
Once you catch the bug, Michelle.
I'll tell you, once you've got the bug, man.
But I like to play too.
Yeah, well, that's why we do the one shots, right? Because I mean, Baz likes to play. That's why he's playing in this game, because he normally DMs pretty much everything. He's been my DM for 25 years, give or take. So we all like to play. I like to play, which is why we're doing this one shot. It gives me a chance to play. That's why I'm going to play in the Vampire the Masquerade.
Garth, I like to play.
I like to play. Multipass.
Wayne's World, everyone, just in case you didn't get it.
I know, the drum store.
Right.
Did you actually do the Pantera giveaway yet?
No,
Oh, yeah.
no one DM'd me. Funnily enough,
No one?
no. I had one. I had one DM from Neon Reptile. And that was it.
Oh, he
So-
was in it.
So he'll win. I'll talk to him. But yeah,
what
no
was
one DM'd me.
What was the actual ending?
I think it was 17 from memory.
Oh, 14.
14. Oh no, I knew it was teens. It was 14,
Yeah.
and that was just Het's references, not
Yeah, that was
not the
just me,
extras.
yeah.
Jeez.
But yes, only no one else DM'd me. It was just one DM right at the start, and no one else bothered. So it was like, oh well, it was worth a shot. But yes, chat. So be aware of that too. I am going to do this again in the future, where we're going to be, on occasion, Het, our resident bard in the Paradigm campaign, uses particular band references during episodes. I will be doing the occasional giveaway in coincidence with that. If you can tell me how many band or references of that particular band on that particular night, you'll get a free Steam game. So, but you have to DM me in the Discord or DM me on Twitter. Otherwise, you can't win. But
That's interesting. It looks like D&D Beyond's releasing an app.
yes, they're
Free
releasing a
characters.
mobile app coming up sometime soon. They've got some new things coming up. They've got a player mobile app coming up. They've also got the Avray Discord bot, which has been out for a little while. They've got the encounter builder, which is in beta. They've got the combat tracker, which is in alpha. Obviously the Twitch extension, which we're using. And then obviously the character builder, which we will use to build our characters on. After the Vampire the Masquerade campaign, I am going to be looking at running another D&D campaign, but it will not be a homebrew campaign. I'm going to choose a module or two, and it'll be 100% legitimate content. It won't be any homebrew allowed at all. So it'll be a full module or two, depending on what module I choose. But so any suggestions on particular modules you guys enjoy to play and would like to play, definitely let me know, because I dare say you guys will be the ones playing it. So if there's a particular module that you've heard about that you've never played, or you have played and want to play it again, shoot me a DM, let me know.
Oh, crap, I've played that many, I don't know.
There's a lot to choose from. There's
Yeah.
a lot. But yeah. So without further ado, we will return to the realms of Thaawych and the forest, and to our battle, or the end of our battle.
And yes. All right, so yeah, you guys have just finished off that the two Orogs that you'd been following into the forestry that were doing the yeah, this is the brain fade. The walk around, the patrol. That's the word I'm looking for.
That thing.
And yeah,
They're
Cramak
doing the
drops the
thing
last
with
one.
the what much call it?
That's the one. I get like this on a Sunday night. It's been a long week, eh?
I understand.
So seeing how what are you called again?
Rattle.
Orog?
Radel?
Rattle.
Oh.
And I still have our disguises up. I suggest we head back to the gate and try and convince the ogre, is it?
Yeah.
To do something stupid.
Sounds good. Shouldn't be too hard. He didn't seem like very
Very quiet, Nutty.
I was actually thinking about that, and I might be able to make a suggestion to him and get him to walk away, so we don't even have to kill him.
Do we
This
just
would
get
be a
him
good
down?
idea, I think.
Do you
We
reckon you
can-
could get him to fall on something pointy?
No, I can't get
Yeah.
him to hurt himself. I can't get him to actually hurt himself. The spell will end. But I can get him to, like, go to bed or, leave and just keep on walking for the next 8 hours.
That sounds good.
I like that idea.
This is a good idea. I think we should try.
Yeah. So we'll do that. I just got to be within, like, conversational distance.
I think
Alright.
I think we can do that. I think these two should be
Put your
able
hands
to.
together. Put your hands together.
These two should be able to get us close enough.
I wonder.
Actually, all three of you put your hands together.
What was that, Annie? You're real quiet. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry.
You probably turned your microphone backwards. Check it.
That better?
No. Check your Windows settings. Check your Windows settings. Oh, now she's going to break.
That's okay. Well, while she's breaking, she'll get back to us.
Put our hands together.
So you guys, you put your hands together and you agree to do this. Get Breath a little closer and maybe make a suggestion to the ogre. Sorry, that's at the gateway.
Yeah, Cormac. I think Cormac gets what Nancy means. I think she would like us to be bound, or pretend to be bound, as prisoners, so we can get closer.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, so the two who are still illusioned, like Orogs, are going to lead the others of you as if you're prisoners.
Yes.
Yep.
If I understand. Okay, that's good. That's what you're doing. You head out of the forestry with this I don't know, what would you call it, this pretend thing. You are trying to deceive this ogre, which they're not super bright. So I'll get you to roll up and say what you have to say.
Once I get within 30 feet, I'm going to cast Suggestion on him. So he has to make a will save.
I'm sure he'll make this.
Yeah,
I'm sure he will.
I bet he will.
I'm picking a 4. Doesn't confirm.
Yes, that doesn't help.
Let's take away 2, 8.
Oh wow.
Alright, so what I'm gonna suggest for him to do is to come down from his the little thing and then start walking a certain direction.
Yeah, so he's just standing in front of the gateway there. So yeah, he's coming down the road, the path to you. And which way are you going to get him to walk?
The opposite direction. So
he's going back the way you came.
Yeah, pretty much, and just keep on walking that direction.
It's like, okay, me go that way then. And he just sort of just walks away from his post and keeps on
have
walking.
safe trip.
And you guys sort of see him disappear out of sight. He's 100 meters, 200 meters, and around the bend, and he's just walking away. He's still got his club on his shoulders, his sort of big makeshift club, and he's just wandering away with his. And you have the gate open into yourself. You have no guards patrolling at the lower area at this point. You are close enough to the gate that the patrol guard on top cannot see you, which is purely by accident. That's
good. That's a happy accident. I guess we should have a look to see if we can see our townspeople and how many more guards and such are present before just rolling in.
Are we going to should we take them in as prisoners?
Not yet. Not yet. We need to find out what we're dealing with first.
Well, me and I can't.
Radl.
We'll go in.
It's called a W.
W. It works.
Waddle.
Waddle.
Yeah.
Waddle.
Okay, Nance.
I do.
Ra. Just call me Ra. That works.
Ralph. There you go, Ralph.
Just call me Bob. Today I am Bob.
Right, so what are we doing, people?
Me and Radl will go in and have a look. How's that sound?
Yes, but as I said, be very careful. I'm sure if the illicit are near, they will know who you are. Just be really careful.
I want the ties loose enough so I can slip out if I want.
They are.
All right.
We are not going inside. We're going to wait here.
I'm just going to reach out to Nancy and touch her and cast Thought Shield.
Okay. Well, what does that do for Nancy?
It weaves a clouding veil over her mind for the duration. Her mind can't be reached or can't be read or detected. Creatures can't telepathically communicate with the target unless the target allows it, and the target has advantage on saving
Nice.
throws against any effect that would determine whether it is telling the truth.
Wow, cool. Okay, so
I'm just going to say this. That was a waste of time. It is Trash Man.
it blinked itself out.
Oh.
Awesome. So,
Awesome.
all metagame jokes aside, the two of you, you imbue Nancy with that spell that just clouds the mind from being overtaken and being read, and you just going to poke your heads in through the gateway, where you're walking just inside the gateway.
We
Just-
should
just-
walk inside and look like we're doing it with purpose.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, so you poke inside, and Evil, if you could just throw up the forest clearing map, please. And you guys instantly see at the gateway to your left, like Indian tents, not quite the same as the American Indian, but similar to that, like a peak top, and it sort of drops down flat on each side, and there's heaps and heaps and heaps of them. The map only really shows you a minor version of those tents. It shows 4 or 5, but in reality, there's like 10 or 15 of those tents there. And you can see where the road leads in at the bottom there. That's the gateway. The gateway itself, inside, as you get in there, you can see vine work all around the gateway. The trees have woven around all those tall posts I was talking about. That's all just woven around with those vines. On the opposite side, beneath the tents, you can see the wagons. There's about 15 to 20 wagons, some covered, some uncovered, where the prisoners were taken from your town, from the town of Thaawych. And on the right-hand side, you can see cages. Same thing. There's only a few of them drawn in there, but they represent 30-odd cages. All the cages enough to sort of suit about 4 people in each cage. And they are jam-packed with your fellow villagers, people you recognise. Some of the cages, however, don't have people you recognise. Some of them are what the Dryad lady and man in the forest, Grinyal the witch and her husband Noam, they described the half druid, half harpy type creatures, and there's a few of them smattered amongst those cages as well. Mostly everyone's sort of sitting feeling sad. You can hear sort of crying from a couple of the cages, but it's a distance enough that it's not overpowering, but you can hear the whimpers of children and mothers sort of shh on their kids. It's okay, it's going to be all right. And most of them are still half naked from being dragged out of their beds at night. And right at the back, the biggest thing that stands out to you guys is this giant, what seems to be almost skin or something organic. It almost is like the shape of a sailing ship, but it's broken up in pieces like this organic, whatever it is, has come apart. It's like the size of a whale. It's massive. And you can see there's like tendrils and tentacles and things sort of poking out of bits and pieces of it. There's the forestry around it is sort of grown into it. The vine work grown into the sides of it. You think of an H.R. Geiger, like Alien sort of movie, that everything looks very organic but mechanical at the same time, grown through. I don't know if you guys know any of the Alien stuff, but
Lex.
yeah, definitely something like that. It's very, very organic, but broken apart. It looks like the surrounding ground around it is all puffed up as if maybe it crashed or was thrown or dug into space here, or somehow it's wedged itself into the ground here. And this is an unnatural clearing. This isn't a space where trees just didn't grow. It looks like everything's been pushed aside and lumped up behind this big organic monstrosity. And that is what you see.
So do we see other orcs, ogres, and
At this point, no. Where you're looking around, you can't see any roaming orcs or ogres. Along the edge of the fence line where you saw up high, the one walking around, which it's not depicted in the picture there, but there is a plankway, and it only sort of goes partly around the area. But the one up there, if you look for him, you can spot him. But everywhere else seems to be pretty much, maybe they're in the tents, but you can't see any other walking patrols or anything like that. Bear in mind, they took all your townspeople at night, So you could assume they may be sleeping, and just having the few on guard that are on guard could have been maybe thought of as enough.
I look at Nancy and I'm like, what do you reckon the chances of us emptying those cages before anybody realizes is?
I reckon we get the others to come in and try and get those cages emptied.
Mm.
Seeing it does look fairly quiet in there, so yeah, we'll do that. We'll grab the others.
Okay.
Go back and explain everything that we saw.
Good. So they regale exactly what they saw to you guys, which you can see in the map, and you've heard the explanation.
Is the patrolling guard on the upper platform? Does he have line of sight on these cages? Do we need to dispatch him first, maybe?
So you guys would know 100% that he has line of sight on everything there. If you imagine he's patrolling, because there's the gates that go across the road, if you imagine he's patrolling some sort of like where the first tent is, all the way back to where the first cage is, back and forth along there. Yeah.
Maybe you two need to invite him down for a chit chat.
Lunch break seems to work.
How long has it been, DM?
Good point.
As far as hours of time, yeah, that's a good point. So I just wrote down. So when you got here, you got up at 8, sort of got to this place around sort of 10 a.m. 2 hours of walking. So you're probably looking at about 11 a.m. So yeah, your disguises are probably getting pretty close to end times.
Recast?
I can't.
I can. It'll cost me a spell slot, but I can.
So Bob can go up and relieve.
Yes.
Yeah, that works.
And
Okay, so
then we can relieve him of his life.
Actually, go up, tell him that our gate guard has left for some reason. You might want to have a look.
That's a good idea.
Give us a go.
Right. So I'm climbing up.
Yep. He looks at you. He says he's strolling back and forth. He's like, "Who are you? Not seen you before."
Bob, how can you have not seen me before? I've been here for ages, man.
You not Bob, I am Bob.
Oh.
No way, man. I'm Bob. But that's not the point. I'm the other Bob, remember? The ogre at the gate. The ogre at the gate? He's disappeared. He's just gone walking. I think we need to go and check him, man.
I want you to roll persuasion or deception, whichever you feel you're doing the most.
Definitely. Oh, they're both the same, really. I'll go for persuasion. 13.
Yep, persuasion of 13. Yeah, he's like, there are many Bobs in Bob Clan. Okay, where'd Ogre go?
Don't know. That way. Come with me. Come with me.
Come with you. Excellent. And he comes down the stairway that leads out to the path and heads out the gate with you. No hassle at all.
I think he went that way. So if you go that way and look, and I'll come this way, I'll meet you round the other side. How does that sound?
So the rest of you are taken outside the gate, is sort of hidden away. Yeah. Okay, he sort of strolls out, just out the gate. He pokes his nose out, and he's, Grimard, where you go, Grimard? And he walks forward, holds his axe forward. He's looking around. Then he starts walking down the road. What are you doing?
I think we'll let him. I'm not going to do anything. I'll let him walk.
Okay, everyone else happy to let him walk. That's.
Let him go after Grimard.
You see how he sort of starts. It picks up his pace a bit, running down the road, following these tracks of the ogre. Yeah, and that's it. You guys are here in the gateway, ready. No other guards around that you can see.
We will. Shall we quickly and quietly try and free as many of these prisoners as we can?
Mm-hmm.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
We will head into the clearing.
All right, head into the clearing, and as you can see, that like I say, 20 or 30 cages, just cages and cages and cages to the right. and an empty fire pit at the moment. The fire's not rolling. And no guards to the right, no guards to the left. But you can hear murmurs and snores and things coming from the tents. To your tents to your left, cages to your right. You can hear murmurs and snoring coming from the tents. The big loud as ogres and orogs are asleep in this daytime at this point. Heading towards the cages.
Yeah, going to the first cage, the closest cage to us.
Yep, and you can see there's a half-orc woman that you recognise from town, and she says, "Oh, thank you."
Shh. Quiet. We will try and free as many as we can, and I want to check the lock.
Yeah.
What type of lock is it?
Yeah, so these cages are all metal cages, but they have some sort of that organic sort of growth around them, very similar to the ship work, and that organic growth is mixed with like the vine work. The lock itself is that of a metal cage, just a simple metal lock. No guards and nothing checked for keys as yet. So
I sort of turn back to the group. Does any of you have the ability to pick a lock? I do not.
No, I do not.
I mean, I could probably smash it with my sword, but it would be very noisy.
No.
We are going to need to find keys. But this is not good.
And at that moment, you hear a yapping noise.
Oh,
What is that?
And a small dog-like creature darts out of the organic structure
Shit.
and runs across. So you guys have got a split second to react here. What are you doing? It's still quite a ways from
Mind sliver on it.
I'll cast Mage Hand.
Okay. Straight up Mind Sliver Mage Hand.
Producing
Alright.
flame.
So what I'll do is the dog. We'll roll initiative right here to see how quick you guys are on this, because the dog-like creature came out.
javelin.
Wouldn't fucking believe it.
Right, so I'll get this pen down. All right, first up, I will get Breath. What's yours?
8.
8. Nice and quick on that Mind Sliver, Breath. Cavalry.
11.
11. This might not be needed. Right, Kramak.
A natural one.
Oh dear, that is no good. Luckily, you don't get any downed bonuses for natural ones for initiative.
No, that's yes.
Nancy.
5.
5. This
Wrong
is looking
one,
good
Nutty.
for my dog. And Bradle.
I rolled a nat 20, so I got 21.
Oh, natural 20 as
the
well.
other end of the scale. All right, and so this little dog thing, Bradle, you're, I guess you're quick first to react. You hear the yapping, you also turn to look at it, and as it darts out of this organic, whatever this organic palace is, and it comes across it's coming across from the tent side, and you guys are on the cage side, so it's got across the yard, and it spots you guys all at once, and what you see is this. It's not a dog as such. It's got 4 legs, but it's it's tiny, like not a chihuahua, but bigger than that, but like a human brain on legs, and it's just running at you. Rada, what do you do?
Kill it with fire.
Oh yeah, kill it with fire.
Cormac just starts backing away, knowing exactly what it is.
I am going to... What am I going to do? How far away from it is me? Is about
How far away is it? How far away is
How
me?
from away is she's,
Is me far from said dog?
she's in Orog form, right? So how far away from me is it?
Before you
She's
kick my dog.
That's what she
before.
meant to say. So
How far away me is?
I would say this about between 60 to 80 feet from you. Yeah. How, how far away from it is me?
Farthest.
Oh, good, she's broken. Yeah, 60 to 80 feet, Rattle.
Hasn't been watching Star Wars, has she? Give it Yoda.
Oh, come on, guys. Give her a break.
Oh,
She'll
it's
be
good
giggling
stuff.
for hours at this point.
That's okay. I have trouble braining it Sunday afternoons as
Oh,
well.
you do. Oh, she's lost it.
She's gone.
He's gone.
What would not it?
Calm down, woman. We've got to get through. We've got an hour. Calm down.
Yes, we broke
Okay, so what are you? What's your plans here, Rattle? Your plans are a spell attack?
I'm going to have to firebolt it because I'm not
Firebolt.
close to do anything else.
Okay, sweet as. Roll for attack.
Oh, nat 20.
Oh, another nat 20. Holy shit.
Crit.
All right, critical hit. So roll as per normal criticals is what we would in Paradigm Bold.
Okay, so that's a 20 plus. So that's 35 fire damage.
35 fire
Holy
damage.
shit. For a firebolt.
Yeah, well, I rolled a nat 20, so and it's 2d10.
True.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay. Yeah, so straight away, just yep, boom, and just, the little brain explodes a bit, and it's just little legs twitching on the ground. The brain slithers just reacting. You've destroyed it in one hit, and you're back out of initiative. There's no need for initiative. There's no
Holy
other creatures
crap.
alive in this space.
What the hell was that?
That is I forget what they're called, but it's like it eats your mind.
It devours your intellect.
It is not good. It horrible little things.
Correct.
Also known as YouTube.
Or
Type
World of
that.
Warcraft, you know.
Yes.
And
I
yes, so
don't know what this YouTube is you speak of, but yes, it eats your mind. But I think Nancy will be okay.
Did that make a lot of noise, or are there still snores?
So you can still hear snores, but yes, it made a bit of noise.
Shit.
That firebolt sort of, you can imagine a little fire blast going off. It was reasonably loud. Luckily enough, nothing seems to be rushing out. You guys are sort of standing in front of the cages waiting, I take it, for something to happen. but-
We'll sort of wait a moment or two, then I'll turn back to the cage to the woman that sort of went to say something.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you know who or what one of these creatures has the key? Or has a key?
She goes, well, the one who put us in here. Well, they all put us in here, but the one who locked the cages was up on the ramparts.
Oh crap!
Oh shit.
I can run and get him.
I cast facepalm at 9th level.
And at least we know where he is.
We do.
He went down okay,
The
so
woman-
what? We're gonna go after this dude now?
The woman says, but surely he wasn't there's many cages here. He wasn't the only one locking us in. He was just the one that locked these few cages. Many of the others have keys also.
Wait a minute. What about the two patrol people outside? We didn't search their bodies, did we?
No, you did
we
not.
didn't.
I'm gonna run out there and search the bodies.
I can go faster. I can do it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So those
Um,
4 legs again.
So basically, you just cavalry, you out the gate at a bit of a trot. You get,
Calling the cavalry.
I'm
and
sorry.
you get to these two orogs in the forestry, and yeah, they're right where you left them in their goo pile of bleeding out.
All right. This is good. I'm gonna look through. Do I have to roll anything, or do I?
Yeah, I'll get you to roll investigation, please.
Oh. 9,
Okay. You
You're
find a
looking
few
for
things,
a
but
key, for goddamn.
you find a few things, but
Thank
you
you.
obviously you don't want to be digging through these blood and gore. But you do find a small silver key.
All right.
You also find a small vial of oil, a flint and tinder. So the oil was like for lighting lanterns and stuff. And one of them was carrying chewing tobacco and also carrying a couple of arrows. So so 5 arrows for a bow.
I'll grab those. All right, I'm gonna run back quickly.
And you head back with the key, no hassles. It's
Come on,
Right.
Percy.
you take the small silver key back to the group, and you pocket the other goods.
Yes, I do.
Does she actually have pockets though?
Yeah, I have a bag.
She has a pack. She can be a pack horse.
Yeah. I bring the key. And I'll try to see if it fits in the lock.
And it does. It fits and turns without a hassle, with a ka-ching as you hear the lock mechanism click out.
Right. Gonna quietly motion for them to leave.
So the cage door groans, and
Couple
at
D.
this point, no one's noticed anything.
Keep-
You've
keep-
got sort of
Keep
4
trying the
people in
locks. I will keep lookout, and I will sort of on ready, shield up, sword still away, just sort of waiting, ready to cast a spell in case anything happens.
I'll go up on the ramparts or the catwalks or whatever you want to call them.
Okay, sweet. So you go up on the catwalk area there.
Yeah.
Give,
I sort of moved forward to the fire pit, around that sort of area.
That's
Yeah.
where you're going, Kremak?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, cavalry?
Do I need to get? I'll give Nancy the arrows, but I don't know if she takes crossbow bolts or arrows. But just pass them quickly,
Sweet as.
and then keep doing the locks.
The 4 people that come out of the first cage sort of look at you, cavalry, and they're like, what do we do? Where do we go? Is it safe?
I would follow the road back to town. Just stay on the road.
Okay,
Nice.
and they sort of run out onto this little pathway road at the gate. At this time, Nancy, you're heading up to that the ramparts area.
Yep.
You get up to the top of the ramparts and you see the people run out the gate, and then you see them run straight back in, and you can see why, because the Orog you sent off is coming back up the road.
Bob, we need you to.
How about we just kill this guy and get it over and done with before he gets back into town?
Quietly, yes.
How good's your aim, Nancy?
My mage hand's still up, eh?
Yes, your mage hand's still up. Yep.
How long does that last?
I also have javelin.
I'm just going to stick my head around the corner and cast Mind Sliver on the bloke.
Yep, go for it.
And I'll
Intelligence saving throw on your part.
Oh, wicked. I just rolled a nat 20.
Nice.
It's only a plus. I don't think it's a plus anything for these guys.
It only lasts a minute, so it's probably dropped.
Yeah, so he saved with a Mind Sliver, but is that half damage or is that...
Yeah, it's half damage.
Okay.
So he takes a whole 3 points of psychic damage.
And he's... What's the distance on Mind Sliver?
60 feet.
Oh yeah, no, so sweet. Yes, he's roughly that from the gateway, so you've sort of poke your head out the gate, bam, and he doesn't know what's happening. He's like, oh, like he's got a headache.
And with
God.
I fire a bolt at him.
Yep, go for it. Fire it. You get free shot.
I will also cast Wind Wall across the gate.
Okay. when you get across the gate.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, man. That's a hit. Take some damage. Throw some damage.
9.
Sweet. So yeah, you see that you just fire a bolt straight through the gap on the gate, and it's straight into his chest, and he's like, more than headache, and he sort of runs forward with pulls his back now, and runs to the gate. And the 4 people that you've already let out of the cage. Now, cavalry, are you still opening cages at this point?
I was going to fire a javelin, but if he has wind wall up, I can't really, can I?
Well, wind wall comes up third, so
Yeah.
you could probably try and throw you. How high is the wind wall, Kramak?
It will be 50 feet long, 15 feet high.
Okay, so you can throw up and over, but your aim would be a little. So it's up to you what you want to do there.
I will keep doing cages. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're just opening cage after cage after cage.
So literally between us and him and the gate, you're now pretty much right in front of the wall. So he'll have to try and go through the wind gust to get to us.
Yep.
And it's a foot thick.
Okay, cool. He runs up to that wind wall. He's like, and you can see him pushing against it. He just can't get through. And
Right, he's got to make, if he's trying to get through, he's got to make a strength save.
Okay, so he's going to try to push through. Never mind. He's got good strength, but he just rolled super duper low. Not quite a 1, but low enough.
He will take, with that,
Oh, he takes damage?
does take damage, 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, so you see him try to push through, and he sort of takes his hand off his axe, puts his hand up, and is like taking a beating of this wind wall, and he sort of, any struggle he's having is just hurting him. You can see it sort of tearing sort of skin off his forearm, and he pulls his hand back. And with that, out of the cage, cavalry, you're opening another cage, and the people are sort of gathering just to the front of the gate there by the cages, and they
It's
don't know what to
concentration
do.
too, by the way.
They're carrying. Okay, yep, I'll keep that in mind. One of the cages you open has a couple of these drindur, these combined beasts that are part harpy, part dryad, and one of them just flies over and grabs an ember from the fireplace and just throws it into the tents, and poof, next thing all the tents are up in flames. And you continuously open these cages, and you can hear now the tents going up in smoke. You can still hear snoring coming from the tents.
Oh, shit.
But now these tents are on fire, and the harpy turns around and grits its teeth and sort of like, "This is the way to end them. More fire, more fire."
And Kamak sort of looking at him, sort of trying to figure out what to do. He's got both hands holding the windmill up. God damn it!
I'm in on that.
That is like my friend Radol.
I'm gonna follow the example of the harpy and fire a fireball into the
Oh, shit.
center of all the different
Into the
tents.
Yeah, do it.
Fireball.
Roll for fireball, man. Roll your damage.
That's a lot of dice. 38.
What level spell was it?
It's a level 3 spell.
Level 3.
It's only at level
Third
3.
level.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So 38 damage. So yeah, you've got the whole thing just goes, and already that some that have taken damage, you can just hear, "Ugh, no!" And one runs out and he's on fire and he rolls on the ground, and you can see he just sort of stumps out in the middle of nowhere. Most of these Orog that are in here are dying now. They don't have armor on. They take full damage. What saves they can make are bad. So you're seeing a lot of dudes just bowling out of tents, but their clothing's on fire. Whatever they were wrapped in's on fire, and they're running out. "No, get them!" And you can see a couple. One runs at you, but he just drops down, just crashing in flames on the ground. And you can see your townsfolk sort of cowering over the corner, but some of them are like, "Yeah," cheering. And the harpies, a couple more that are now, because I assume cavalry, you're still opening cages.
Yep.
A couple more harpies are joining the fray, and any of these Orog that come out of these tents are just getting picked up and then dropped to the ground and just get poof. It's just destroying them. That basically they've got the Orog under control while you're releasing cages. And I've been rolling some real shit dice today.
That's good for us.
Communal roll to see how many of them saved out of the tents, and I rolled a 3. Yeah, so.
Well, when you think about it, they were
Absolutely.
asleep. So
Yes.
yeah.
True.
Absolutely. Couldn't have done it better. Couldn't have worked for the story better. So at this point, you've got most of the cages released cavalry. Up the top, Nancy, you're seeing the one Orog out there. He's just standing, pacing back and forth in front of this wind wall, trying to figure out a way in. He runs off into the forest.
I take another shot at him.
Yep, take another shot.
It'll drop after a minute.
Yep, sweet as.
And I miss 9.
Yeah, so he's running into the forest and your arrow goes wild. Radul, anything you want to do in this time?
You move,
Oh, yeah, no, I just unmuted myself. I will see what Nancy has done, and I will. I'll throw a firebolt at him.
At him? Yep. So as he's trying to disappear into the forest, you firebolt. Roll for attack.
12.
Yeah, unfortunately it misses. He's gets his arm up and just deflects it. And he's got like a plate on his leather armor at the front and just deflects that firebolt off. That carries into the forest. You guys lose sight of him. It's at this point you see, or you more so hear, Kramak, you would probably see it because you'd put yourself positioned by the fire on looking. There's a lot of these tents on fire, and out of the belly of the beast, so to speak, out of the ship or whatever it is that's on the ground, floats out this being. He floats forward. He's in long, dark purple robes with gold trim at the collar up around the back of his neck. And I believe there's a picture of one in there, Evil.
There is.
And he's got tentacles hanging down, sort of chest area wise. He points his finger forward, and we will roll initiative, hopefully one last time for the game.
The instant Kramak notices him, drops Windwall, and will turn and just cast a Sacred Flame.
Sweet as. We'll roll initiative, and that will be definitely the way to go. So, I'm just getting my shit together. First up, Breath, what was your initiative?
17.
17. Cavalry?
15.
And Kramak?
You shut.
15.
Kramak as well. Cavalry and Kramak, who's got the highest dex of you?
+1.
Also +1.
Okay, so you're simultaneous.
Simultaneous. Just put us in an order, dude. Doesn't matter who goes first.
I don't, yeah.
And after Kramak, Nancy, what did you roll?
Posture check, people.
21.
21. And Bradle,
12.
a little lower this time, Bradle.
Just a bit.
Okay, so first up is Nancy. You see this beast come out of the living building, and he just floats about a foot off the ground with his arms up, and you can see glowing from his hands. What are you doing?
Hang on, looking. About how far away is it from me?
So you said you were up on sort of that front
Yeah.
ramparts taking shots. So he's probably good 80 feet.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just take a shot at him then.
Sweet as, go for gold.
19.
Yeah, that's a hit.
5.
Damage. Yeah, so just up on that rampart, you just pull up that crossbow, send it down, and you can see he tries to wave it away with his magic, but it clips him right in that forearm, and you can see the arrow lodge, the bolt lodge into his forearm, and he's sort of kush, and you don't really hear a noise other than external, but other than in your head, just hear, "You are going to die today."
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I've got that.
How long
spell.
did that last?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
How long does that last, though?
8 hours.
5 or
8
yeah.
hours,
Okay,
yeah.
no, he doesn't.
So, that's what you would have heard, but your mind, that spell blocks anything you would have heard. You are completely safe from that. And with that, Nancy, are you going to move anywhere?
No, I'll stay where I am.
Sweet as, staying up on the ramparts. It is now his turn. Kramak, you are the closest to him.
I am.
Cavalry, you're the next closest. Breath, you're over by the gate, I believe. Where you
Yeah, around there.
you took a shot at the fireball. And Radl, just to put it in perspective, I believe you would have been near the gate where Nancy was because you took a shot at the same character he did.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so we'll work on that. He floats towards you, Kramak, just ever so slightly, so he's within roughly 30-foot range, and he now makes an attack with his mind blast. You feel psychic energy piercing into your head, and actually at the same time, cavalry, this will get you as well. It's a 60-foot cone, so you guys need to make an intelligence saving throw.
19.
It's good. No, sorry, Michelle, you're muted.
You're muted.
11.
11. Okay, so both of you take damage. However, Kramak, you take far less. That is 10 damage for Kramak and 20 damage for cavalry.
Ooh.
And you feel it. It's like a sun throbbing in your head, and you guys hear the voice telling you that you are all going to die this day. And that is it for him. He does nothing else. Next up is Breath.
I'm going to cast Melf's miniature minotaurs, which
Alright,
you basically
yours,
are,
yeah.
at the end of that you see 6 mini minotaurs floating around me,
Nice.
and that's it.
What?
Well, I
Awesome.
can't. I got to cast it, and then the next turn
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually can use them.
Oh, Mouse minute meteors. Right, I'm with you.
Yeah.
They're little balls of
Meteors, not
magic.
minotaurs.
No,
Sorry,
Minotaur.
I was thinking, man, I don't know this spell.
My bad.
No, it's all
Well,
good.
if you want them to be minotaurs, you can.
Yeah, it's true. They can be any
They're the
manifestation
little
you
bird.
want. All right, so you've cast that up ready, and you can see them swirling around. Breath. Are you moving anywhere, Breath? Or are you staying sort of close to the gate?
Stay where I am.
All right, cool. Up next is cavalry.
Am I within range to charge? 30
You
feet?
have, yes, you have good range to charge. Perfect range to charge. You're just behind Kramak.
I am going to charge forward with my hooves, and that is 13. Does that hit?
That does not hit. So as you charge forward, you lift up, and what looks like cloaking it, as you crash down on it, you feel there's metal armor under his cloaking, and he just sort of backs off it, floating in the air. You sort of mostly just push him back about 5 feet. He's still within that melee range, but unfortunately your charge doesn't do the damage.
And then I'll use my halberd, which hits with 21.
That hits.
And that is only 5 damage.
Damage is damage, never only.
And I don't think this one hits with 11.
No, so yeah. So you miss with that charge, but you crash down with your halberd, and you catch him really good in it's that same arm where the arrow's lodged. You see him, his face doesn't wince so much as he squints his eyes and then opens them back up, and he just moves around your last hit, sort of anticipating where you're going. And I take it that's it for you, cavalry?
For me.
Kramak, you're up.
Seeing sort of what's going on, taking that damage, I sort of think twice about what I was doing. I move 30 feet in the opposite direction back towards the cages.
Yeah.
Which still keeps me roughly within 30 feet of cavalry. Who else is within 30 feet of me at this point?
So cavalry, you probably Breath would be the next closest, but Nancy and Radl are
So
sort of
I will cast Bless at first level,
yes.
and bless myself, cavalry, and breath. That'll give you a D4 on attack rolls and saving throws.
Right.
And that is concentration and lasts up to a minute. And that will pretty much be my turn.
Awesome. I just wrote that down so I could remember. So try and remember blesses. And
Yeah, that will be my turn.
Sweet as. So yeah, you guys have that extra damage bonus, well, attack bonus. Radl, you are up.
How far away from me is Kramak?
Kramak is about 60 feet from you.
How far away is Cavalry?
And so she's just charged forward to the creature, so she's just forward of that, so about between 65 70 feet.
Okay, so I'm going to reach out because I'm guessing their breath is next to me.
Breath is below you. You guys were sort of just up on the ramparts there, or by the gate
Okay.
at least, and Breath is about
How-
10 or 15 feet away from
Okay,
you.
so I'm going to go to breath and touch her
Yes,
Ugh.
and
fantastic.
cast
I mean-
Thought Shield.
Full shield on her too. Can you have it up on 2 people at a time?
Is it concentration?
No, it's just vocal
No.
somatic touch.
Sweet.
It
that's
just
good.
says one creature you touch with duration. I'm guessing you can touch more than one person.
No, good as gold. Full shield
Yep.
up.
Just make sure it doesn't have a little C by it.
No,
Little
doesn't.
black C.
No, good as gold. And you
Awesome.
cast that, and away
Yep.
you go. Is that your action?
That's my action. That's about
Alright.
all I'm doing.
So, Breath, you feel that as she touches you, you feel your mind, everything feels stronger in your head, and you're a magic user anyway. You have a good feeling that this is something. She's giving you a gift. You would hope. And no other movement for you, Nancy. Sorry, Gradle.
I will try and get as close to. Okay,
It doesn't matter. It's
Fine.
just random characters.
I'll try and get as close to Kramak. It was like, oh no, actually I'm gonna go for after cavalry. As close as I'll move up as far as I can.
Yeah, so you
Towards
get
cavalry.
another sort of 15 feet. So you're about halfway across the battlefield now, within 40 feet of cavalry and Kramak. Sweet. Back to the top of the round, Nancy.
Okay, so with my bonus action, I cast Crimson Right.
Awesome.
So, where's that? 6 there. I take 6 points of damage on myself. Awesome! Bloody hell.
One downfall of out of
back
blood
to the
hunger.
map too, mate.
Okay, so with that, that gives me plus 1d6 damage of cold damage to a weapon.
Sweet. So you put it on your crossbow.
Yep.
Sweet. You have cold damage awaiting on one of your arrows, one of your bolts.
Ooh, nat 20.
Woohoo! Nat 20 on the roll.
And yeah, so you aim. Whereabouts on the mind flayer are you aiming?
Right on its forehead.
Yes, there's a big bulbous purple sort of skin, forehead, grey purpley skin, and you just fire that through. Roll for damage. Yeah, same as Paradigm Bulb's critical hits too. So
So that's 11 straight up, plus another 10, plus, hang on, 6.
wow. Yeah, so
27 total damage.
that bolt's fairly true, and you see it streaking straight, and it goes past cavalry, right past your head. You feel your hair sort of, and it jams. Instead of into the forehead though, where you were aiming, in the mind flayer, it's almost like he's got a sixth sense. He just moves slightly, and it catches him right through what would be a cheek space where his tentacles start. And it just boom, it pierces straight through, and you hear, no, you don't, because your mind is blocked, so you hear nothing. He makes no noise, but and I don't even know what color these guys believe in. I'm going to say purple. A purpley blood starts to dribble down his neck and onto this, where his armor's ripped open from the charge that cavalry made. You can see it dripping onto the metal armor, even at your distance. Quite a sight in the daylight. Nonetheless, is that it, Nancy?
Yes, it is.
Very good shooting. It is his turn. The Mind Flayer with cavalry in front. He is going to use his tentacles because he's up close. He makes an attack at cavalry. silvery white blood. There we go. Thanks, Evil. Yes, so silvery white blood drops out under his. You're barely noticeable on his armor as it's silvery white. Cavalry, this is definitely a hit because 17 plus 7 is going to be a hit. You take another 10 psychic damage as he whips at you with the face tentacles, and it grabs around your body, upper torso area where it grabs you. Can you make a a grapple escape? A strength save, please.
Remember, you got a D4 to add to it.
Yes, you do, because of your bliss.
Your bliss.
22.
22. Yeah, so as it tries to grapple you with its tentacles after doing that damage, as it sort of whipped you, you are able to push it off, and you don't have to fuss about the grapple. That's good. Good for you. And with that is the Mind Flayer done. He's going to back up. He is going to move away from your position, Cavalry, and he backs up 30 feet. You get a free attack at him as a reaction, so a single attack.
All right, I'm going to halberd again, and that is a 17.
17 hits.
With 13
you get
damage.
the D4 on your attack rolls too, just in case.
13 damage.
13 damage, yeah. So, and as he backs up, you just swing across and catch him really good, and you get him right across under, like his chest arm is sitting high. You get him under that chest armor, and you sort of blaze that purple gown that he's wearing open, and you can see more blood rippling there. He doesn't look impressed. His eyes are just piercing you as he backs up. With that, it is my Breath's turn.
Alright, I'm going to cast that second level magic missile.
Okay, away we go.
And he takes 14 points of damage from that.
As he backs up, you can see with these teal missiles all slamming into his chest area.
And then I'm going to send one of the meteors after him.
Oh, as a bonus, you can send the meteors. That's
Yeah.
right.
So I'm gonna try to aim it to be like 5 feet above him,
Yes.
type deal. So
Okay.
it pushes him down.
All right, sweet. I have to make a save on that, do I?
Yeah, Dex save.
Oh, it's good. 17 plus 1, 18.
Ah, crap, he saved.
Does he take
so
damage?
he takes half damage from it. So
And doesn't
damage,
get pushed.
yeah, the damage is would be 7, so half of that.
Righto. So yeah, you see that meteor sort of push into the top of his head, and he cringes a little, pulls his hand up, ready with some more spells. But that is it. Is that it for you, Breath?
Yeah, that's it.
No movement for you.
No, I'm pretty happy where I am.
Cavalry, you're up.
I would like to rage.
You are raging now. War cry.
Right.
And run up to him and bite him with Form of the Beast,
Oh, wicked.
which is 18 to hit,
18 hits.
Nice.
and that is 10 on the bite, and I will gain 4 health back.
All right, so you're drawing a bit of his blood back into you.
Icky white blood.
It's very bitter.
So bonus 1 action. You have a secondary attack left. That is all.
Halberd,
Yep, might as well.
which misses with a 7.
Yeah. You get that bite in, but as you try to correct yourself and take a swing, he moves away. He is not looking good after this bite either.
The bitterness of it.
Kramak, your turn. You're up, buddy.
As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
All right, spiritual.
Because
weapon.
I'm approximately 60 feet from him, so I'll cast Spiritual Weapon at his location. And
And what is the visage of your
Ethereal Scimitar.
ethereal scimitar?
And it will make its attack as well.
Yep.
Which is a dirty 20.
That's a hit.
That will do 5 points of slashing damage. Magical
Alrighty.
slashing damage. And as my action, I'm going to cast cantrip, because that's all I can do.
Yep.
Sacred Flame, which is also 60 feet, so it's a dex saving throw.
All right. So sorry, casting the weapon is a bonus action, was it?
Yeah.
And attacking with it is its own action.
It's its own action, yeah.
Okay, sweet. And so what are you casting now?
It attacks as you cast.
Oh, it's attack as cast. Yep.
So Sacred Flame, so Dex save.
All right, Sacred Flame. 19 plus 1, 20, dirty 20 save.
That will be a save, so it'll take no damage.
Okay, you can see he's sort of reeling a bit though. Everything that he's taking, he's not looking as good as. He's definitely not. It's exactly as you guys described. He's definitely not a physical dominant being. He's taking a bit of a beating here. And Kramak, if that's it for you.
That is it for me.
Is wild shape? Can I just wild shape? Is that a bonus action?
An action for you unless you Circle of the Moon. It should say. It'll tell you whether it's an action or a bonus action. But from memory, it's an action.
It's bonus action for me, but I'm Circle of the Moon, so.
It says wild shape as an action.
Yep.
Yeah, as an action.
Okay.
I've just got your sheet
Right.
here. Yep.
I am going to wild shape into a panther.
All right.
And
Wild shape into a panther.
Stand there,
So
snarling,
you use this time. What color panther? Just a black one.
black,
All right. So as you sort of
blue. Actually, I'd be a blue panther. Sorry.
blue panther. Oh yeah, like the dragon.
Yep.
You sort of assess the situation. You're like, it's time, and you change forms as you sort of everything sort of slings, and you grow these muscles and fur, and you drop to the deck, ready to go, stalking your prey. You are going to move.
I'm going to start running towards the thing.
Okay, you run towards the Mind Flayer.
Yep.
Back to the top of the round. Nancy, your turn.
Alright, using crossbow again.
Fire away.
With a 16.
16 hits.
Okay, so get the cold damage out of the way. Of 6.
Cold damage of 6. Yep.
And 11 damage.
11 damage. Yeah, and you strike it true. Another bolt that you're trying to get that creature as best you can, and it just grabs into the tentacle on its face. Boom! Another bolt, and see it shake it. It calls to everyone who isn't psychically barriered, and it just says, "This is where you all end." And Nancy, are you moving?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Hmm.
It's gonna
Chicken.
try- Okay, so it is now doing. Yeah, can't do much else. Recharge of the Mind Blast, that's good. So Mind Blast at Cone, it's going for Radl, Kramak, and Cavalry this round. All three of you are within that range of it. Intelligence saving throw on for the three of you, please.
8 for Kramak.
Okay, that's a fail, unfortunately. Radl, you're muted, mate.
Intelligence, you said, didn't you?
Yes, please.
Oh, hang on, I've got to add a D4. I've got to add a D4 to that.
Add a D4 for those who are, yeah.
That was
19.
it was Breath, myself, and Cavalry that had the D4.
Yeah, so you and Cavalry can use the D4. Just Radl, Breath. Sorry,
19.
Radl.
That'll be 11.
19, 11.
Kramak.
Okay, that's still a fail, sorry.
Kinda
Kramak.
figured it would
Okay,
be.
Cavalry, what was yours?
22.
22. Okay, so the two of you who passed, you only take 5 damage this time, and you take 10, Kramak. Okay, so with that blast done, he moves further again away. Yeah, moves. It just floats back almost to the front of the ship again. You were cavalry in attack position, so you will get a free attack at him as he moves away.
All right. The halberd for 17,
17, it's a hit.
and that is 8 damage.
Damage, yeah. So once again, you just slam it as he moves away. He still moves away, but you just cut a big chunk out of his
Does
side.
my spiritual weapon get an attack of opportunity as well?
I
don't know how that works.
So. No, it's moving out of its melee range, so yes,
Yeah.
it would. I will say yes. I
I
don't know how that works either, but I don't see why not.
I think
So-
it becomes an intelligent weapon anyway.
I think so, yeah.
Take.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, that's a hit.
That'll be 3 points of slashing damage.
Right, so yeah, once again, like I say, he's looking damaged. Some of that robe is falling away, and you can see the skin is open, and he's just that silvery white blood just running down the side, and he's trying to shake it off. It's not happening. We are at Breath's turn.
Right, I'm gonna cast Magic Missile again.
Magic missile. Trusty old steed.
Stupid. I wish the roller would do the 3. Alright, so that's 11 points with the magic missile, and a dex save as well, please.
A dex save as well. I just rolled a nat 1 for my dex save.
Ooh,
That's a
natural
fail.
1.
That's definitely a fail.
And since I sent 2 balls, that's 16 points of fire damage.
Yeah, so this Mind Flayer isn't looking happy. You tell me how you end him, Breath.
Yes.
Once he actually goes down, I send the last 3 things into him and just pound him into the ground with them.
So these 3 meteors, so you've got
Yeah.
one on him and then boom into the ground. You can see him reaching up, and in your guys' minds, the ones who aren't blocked, you hear, "No, I must," and then boom, 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 just lays him into the ground, and it almost creates a little crater under his back where bits splinter out everywhere, and he's just laying there in a pool of goo, silvery mush, with these meteors just sort of sizzling off as they finish their job. And with that, we are out of combat. There is no more enemies in sight. You just have his little ship and the prisoners to release.
Kramak walks up to the body and beheads it.
Oh yes, no hassle, just shoom. And what are you doing with the head?
Take it with me.
I had a suspicion. Right.
I'm just going to pick it up by its tentacles and just take it with me.
Sweet as. So you guys, and we have a little time left. I've got a little narration for the end,
Yep,
but
we've got about
I
10
assume
minutes.
you guys are releasing all the prisoners from the cage,
We
or your
will.
townsfolk.
Yep.
We'll release the prisoners, and Kramak will ask that the casters of fire please burn that monstrosity,
I'll revert
Pointing-
back to normal taunt form.
pointing at the large illicit craft.
And start casting my my firebolt. Produce flame.
All right. So
Control flames.
no one's going into the craft at all. That's just going to burn it down.
Burn it to the
Alright.
ground. I'm going to cast a sacred flame on it as well, anyway, just to help with the flaming stuff.
Sweet as. So you guys get
Fortunately,
casted.
I am out.
You're all out. I had a feeling everyone must be getting close. So yeah. Meanwhile, there's a lot of blasting going on to this large organic structure, this ship, and it's and eventually it takes some time, but with the harpies helping and even the locals, borrowing tinder boxes and things, using the fire from the tents that are still on fire, getting branches, they're helping you. They hate this place as much as you do, especially after what's just happened to them over the previous day and night. And the half dryad, half harpy, which I've labelled the Durandeur, they fly off after thanking you somewhat. They fly off into the forestry with this giant forest
Before
ablaze.
anyone sort of departs, as far as the group dissipates, I get them to the group itself mainly, just to group up, and I take 10 minutes before we do anything else to cast Prayer of Healing and heal everyone for 11 points of damage.
Sweet, good as gold. And how was everyone looking, actually, by the way? Was there much damage going on? What were we
I was
seeing?
about half. I was pretty bloody.
I had like 12 points left.
I was fine.
Yeah,
That was good.
Kramak had blood running down his face from his nostrils, and probably from his eyes from the mind attacks.
Yeah.
It's the first character I've had that has taken no damage.
That's what casters,
At
that's what
all.
casters are supposed to be like.
I only took 5 points, so I was good.
Not bad.
It's not too bad.
I
It's-
took 6, but I did that to myself.
Poor
Yeah,
old
the-
cavalry, I could see her taking a beating there.
Yeah.
It's the one downfall about
Almost died.
the Blood Hunter. Every time you use your rituals, it bloody
Hurts
what
yourself.
dog?
So, with this, the ship's on fire. You see a strange sphere come out of the blazing room, almost the same place that the mind flayer came of, and it sort of floats, but it's on fire, and you see it just shatter, and it drops ting 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 little grass shards all to the ground. And with that happening, the forest starts to stand back up. You see the darkness, all the dark green thorny bits and pieces all sort of begin to coil back. It's not instant, it's just very slowly. Everything sort of peaks back up to normal. The sunlight cracks through the forestry again, and whatever that glass sphere was probably causing the curse on the forestry. And then the mind flayer himself, his body just beaten into the ground. The last of the glass shards sort of land near him. And as you watch this large organic ship burn, is there any last thing you want to do as you're shuffling? I mean, the locals are grabbing wagons and things and using the wagons to get their kids and things back to Thaawych. Is there anything you guys would like to do in the meantime?
I'll help the villagers.
Help get them on the
I
wagon.
think all of us will probably help the villagers get themselves situated and head back to the witch to start rebuilding.
Sweet as. And so that's easy enough done. No rolls necessary. Kramek, I want you to roll perception, please.
Perception.
Right roll.
Dirty 21.
30-20. As you're aiding everyone loading into the carts and that, you take the illithid bothers you. You take one look back at its corpse, and you notice something fluttering under the robes.
I'll walk over and have a closer look.
It's a piece of parchment.
Pick it up.
The parchment has notes, and you know from your study of the illithid that they don't have a language. They talk in thoughts, but they do have a writing. The writing can't be spoken, but the writing's imbued with a type of magic. And as you look at the writing, trace your fingers over it, you can basically read what it says. And it's notes. It's the mind flayer's made notes of the local area, what he plans to do with the creatures. He wants to take the dryad and he wants to take the harpies and he wants to mix them. And it's basically going on what Grignal, the witch, and her husband were telling you. And then at the bottom of the note, it basically says he really enjoyed the games that he played with the husband named Noan. And he's writing there that it's a lovely area and he wants to stay in this dwelling and do his experiments. He also notes that the witch Grignal is most annoying. She doesn't like him using her people and she's becoming a pain. And he notes there that he has told his orogs that he made from the orcs that used to live in this camp. He made the orogs out of the ogres and orcs, and he's told his lead orog he wishes to burn the witch but leave Noan alive. So that is his note to his orog captain. And that is what you read on his note.
I'll fold it up and I'll roll it up and place it in my pack. I won't say anything.
Sweet. And as you guys head back to the village of Thaawych, even though the previous day's festivities were fouled by the events of the night, you do all take some solace in the knowledge that you have thwarted the great evil this day. The burning of Thaawych will take some rebuilding, but your names will be revered in the history books yet to be written. And as you look back, bringing the people on the trail into Thaawych, you look back somewhere high over the camp of Slesarax, the illithid. You see another vessel in the distance of organic properties up in the sky. It's got a magical light beaming out of it, seemingly scanning for something. It finds nothing that it's interested in, and it opens some sort of swirling void in front of it and disappears in the clouds and out of the realm. And you all take the people back to the village, and everyone praises your names, and they carry on with what festivities they can amongst the sadness of the village being half burned. And it is here from this day forward, Breath, Nancy, Cavalry, Cramak, and Radl are the heroes of Thaawych. Thank you for playing, guys. Good game.
Cheers, guys. That was
We won!
that was
We
awesome.
won.
One shots don't always end in
One shot, you
death.
haven't died.
And that is our story, ladies and gentlemen.
Depends on the characters in the DM, I suppose.
It does.
Play
It
well,
does. It was. Thank you so much, everyone that joined us tonight.
Well, you had to. It was all, you had to make them randomly, so.
So thank you, players. Once again, I was talking to the chat, but thanks, guys, for joining us for part 2 of the Thaawych one shot. Thank you to our dungeon master for last week and this week, Orbasm, aka Het, who will be rejoining us as Het next week when we come back to the Paradigm campaign. Thank you to our players who will also be rejoining us next week as we get back into a regular campaign. Thank you to everyone in the chat. All you guys are awesome. We had a new follower, Bitten Blake. Thank you for the follow, and a resub from Baz tonight as well. You guys are awesome. Tiger Wolf, thank you for joining us. Glad you enjoyed it. It was lots of fun. I said we do this every single Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time start, where we will generally go through a recap and go through the story. Also too, on the 9th of July, 11 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time, we'll be getting back into the Curse of Strahd campaign as well. So come and, if you are able to join us for that, come and join us. This VOD will be available on YouTube tomorrow night sometime. I'll do the upload tomorrow afternoon. So if you have missed some of it, or you want to re-watch it to see if you did miss anything, definitely check out the YouTube, !YT in the chat will give you that details. But definitely come back and see us. If you haven't followed, please follow. If you can sub, please sub. All that money goes back into the channel and keeps us doing this, basically. Which is what I enjoy, and these guys are having fun with me as well. So on that note, we will call it an evening. Again, I thank you all very, very much for joining me and joining us in our story. And we shall see you tomorrow night, 7:30, for some gaming. Until then, stay safe.